Hello and welcome to episode 89 of Two Man Game with Damon and Dom. I'm Damon, that's Dom, and you are the listener. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, on Spotify, leave 5 stars, and on either platform, and share some more. Today, we will continue our rankings with power forwards. We did centers last episode, power forwards today. We do have some news and stuff to get to first. And even before I ask Dom how he is, as I always do, something I want to do before I forget, rest in peace
What
to
happened?
the on-air sign that is always in my background. And you may have not known it was an on-air sign because it typically is like a giant neon blur hanging on my hoop over here. Over the weekend, I told the story yesterday on the football show. So if you heard it already, sorry, I'll try to make it quick. But in case people just tune into the basketball show, I wanted to go over it again. Um, I sleep in on the weekends so hard because I sleep like 5 hours a day throughout the week, like an insane person. And I woke up one of the days this weekend, and I couldn't find my phone or my glasses, which are normally both in like the same spot. So I just fell asleep hard, I guess, and not planned. Like I just passed out, you know. And they were under my bed, and I was looking for them. I don't know how they got there. Don't ask me. I was like, like on the side of my bed here, like reaching, like seeing if I could find them, and I accidentally bumped into this little shelf that this sits on top of the popcorn bucket back here, and it like knocked off and ripped out like the cord that it like plugs into the wall. So um that's why it looks different if you were curious. That's why it's not as colorful and nice. So rest in peace, the on-air sign. I don't think I can fix it, but maybe I'll get
Wow.
a new one and do something else. We'll see. My mom got me this for Christmas. During our
Christmas
first
is
year of
coming up.
podcasting. So
Yeah. Wow. So it lasted like probably like 75 episodes, maybe a little less, maybe a little more.
yeah, it was
I can't believe it ripped out. That's crazy. Like that had to
yeah.
be so much force or something. That's crazy.
I just like kicked the stand and it like fell off and just yeah, it was
Gotcha.
I saw it on the floor and I was like, oh man, and then I looked and I was like, oh, that's not good.
Well, I did
Um
notice the lighting was a little different. That was my first indication. I was like, I wonder what's going on. I did not clock that there wasn't anything hanging up behind under the hoop.
yeah, I don't like how it looks now. It's too drab. It's too sad. Um
No, hey
yeah,
man, looks
we'll
good.
see. We'll have to get some new lighting here for our visual watchers. Um
Perhaps a Christmas
otherwise
gift is meant to be sent soon or on the way.
did you send me some lights? That's great.
No, no,
Love
I'm
that for me.
insinuating perhaps that's something I could help with, or we could figure,
Uh,
or some, you know what I mean? Anyways,
I'm
uh,
gonna get I'm gonna get like a spotlight behind me and just
I mean, I've been thinking about getting a ring light or like something. I don't know. Hey, anyone that like records on a computer, comment, like, subscribe, but also comment and tell us what to do to make us look beautiful because we are beautiful. If you know what you're anyone
I
out
just
there knows
got
what they're
three
doing.
monitors blasting my face off right now and no background light. So like I have Google Doc over here, it's on dark mode. I have the tier list open over here, it's also dark, and I still
Yeah.
look really bright. It's
Yeah,
three
I was
monitors.
about to say like I thought it was three. I just have the one in front of me, but at least I have daylight still seeping.
Yeah, it's fading over here for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. I forgot yesterday until like 45 minutes into the show, and I was like, oh yeah, by the way. So I was like, I need to make sure I say it first. Now that that's over though, Dom, how are you? Hopefully better than my
Hey,
light.
better than your light. Happy to say I had a good weekend. I went to the pool one day. I went to the beach another day. I went to a lot of shows, saw a lot of friends. Went out every night, I think, except Monday because I had to go to work yesterday. But it was a very fun weekend and I had a good time. How are you doing?
Doing fine. The weekend was full of two fantasy football drafts, which I talked about on Jared's show, the Jared and
Hmm.
I show. I helped Jared move, so that also happened. And I had, I believe, three separate plans, all of which fell through. So that's just how it goes sometimes. Just how it
Gosh,
goes
man.
sometimes.
Yeah, I know. It's true. I usually load up because then one or two things falls off, but nothing did this weekend. Everything that I planned actually happened, which is
It
crazy. So,
it was like Friday draft, plans after, fell through. Saturday I
mhm.
helped Jared move, plans after, fell through. Sunday, plans fell through, draft at night. And then
Yeah,
Monday I didn't really have anything going on.
gotcha. Well, here's the thing. Even though, maybe there wasn't a lot of plans being had or falling. We got news. That's
There you
basically
go.
all I'm sorry. I'm
I,
just trying to
I
get to
was
the
like this.
news. Where is he
Here,
going with this?
here's a plan. The Bucks are keeping Thanasis Antetokounmpo around, 1 year, $3 million deal. What's the plan? The plan is to keep Giannis there. You know, we got your brother on the squad. You can't leave. So it's probably a. I think Shabs reported it was kind of an indication, like, yeah, he's okay with being here because the NASA signed everything's okay.
Yeah.
We'll see for how long that holds true.
Yeah. Because there's no other reason why the Bucks would sign him, that's for sure. The Mavericks have waived and stretched 2023 first round pick Olivier Maxence Prosper.
Oh,
Or
Max.
Omax. Oh, there we go. Yeah, interesting. Why is everyone waving and stretching people this
Yeah, all
offseason?
of a
What
sudden
is
it's the new
happening?
popular thing. First round pick
Um,
2 years ago. The guy's barely played. So
yeah, and hopefully he gets picked up. He's a good young player. I mean, I think he's more like more a defender. He doesn't really have a lot of offensive game, but I think it can still be developed. Seen him. I mean, he did get minutes in the playoffs and whatnot. Not last year because I didn't make it, but the year before, like played quite a bit. So interesting to see. I guess I don't know if they're trying to make room for something or somebody, but I'm sure he'll find his way on a team.
yeah, they could have just been trying to save money because they did also extend PJ Washington 4 years and $90 million coming off the bench probably this year. We'll see. I'm not sure. We'll talk about it when we get there. But good player, has been good for them in his short time. So I think they want to keep him around. Makes sense to me. A little less than 25 million a year. It seems about right for the quality of player, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think this is a good deal. I think 4 years is uh, probably more PJ wanting a longer deal. I'm sure the Mavericks probably try to do like a 2 or 3 year. But I'm happy that he got a 4 year, 90 million. And I mean he loves being a Maverick, so we'll hopefully he gets to play with the Mavericks for a while. Um, onto a bit more I don't know, not interesting. I want to use a better word for this. Scandalous news. There we go.
There you
Little
go.
scandals. Kawhi Leonard allegedly inked a $28 million no-show endorsement deal to skirt NBA salary cap back in 2019 when he signed with the Clippers. This just came out today. This all happened because there's a tree planting company called Aspiration who's now filing for bankruptcy, and on this bankruptcy, they list people who paid them in the past, or kind of sponsor not sponsored, but gave money to kind of cultivate the business so they get money back, and then how and people that they still owe, and someone that is named KL2 is listed that is still owed $7 million. Kawhi Leonard, and he is number two on the Clippers, and the Clippers and Steve Ballmer were an organization that did put money into this business in the beginning. So that is why these connections are being drawn. The Clippers and Steve Ballmer deny these allegations, but
Of course.
if so, this is illegal. You cannot pay people basically under the table to like, hey, we'll sign you on this contract, but I'll give you like 28 million more under the table for you to like join the Clippers. I know, I wasn't really into the league back in 2019, but I was reading a lot about it today, and there was a lot of question marks why Kawhi ended up choosing the Clippers, and so many people trying to find reasons other than he just wanted to go to LA. Beside, like, why wouldn't he just go to the Lakers or something? And people are now saying now it makes sense. This is probably what happened. Who knows? We will update you with and everyone who's listening with what's going on. But Damon, what did you think when you saw this?
Yeah, this is fascinating. I also saw, I guess in like 2021 or so, they had a partnership with the Clippers. They had like the whole putting the patch on the jersey, like that sort of thing, as companies often do. I read this and I thought, well, that's crazy and illegal. And Kawhi is such not the guy that I would have been like, if you gave me 100 guesses at the player that this would have been, I don't think I would have named him. I also think, like, sad as it is to say, this probably happens all the time. There are probably players on every team that get a little extra money. It's tough because players have sponsorships, right? Like there are companies, shoe companies, Nike, for example, like they sponsor a ton of players and they have deals with those companies to get additional money to their NBA salary. So I guess a question could be asked, how is this different? This is another sponsorship, but it's like if it was made because the Clippers were going to be an expensive team and because they were going to have a lot of guys that they needed to pay, then doing this for the purpose of trying to lower like the financial blow on your team, I definitely get the like serious circumstance. I just wonder if it's a case of you've been caught and there's like very obvious proof whether like that. I think that like that's the reason it matters because I can't imagine this is like the first time this has occurred.
Of course. No, there's definitely no way. I mean, how many times probably a player's like, "Hey, come to my team," and then like you can. I mean, if you're friends, why can't I give my friend of mine a million or two? Like there's a lot of reasons you can, you know, get around giving money to somebody or things like that. It's just crazy to come out now and after 6 years, and also the lengths that they went to get Kawhi and never go to the finals still is
Hmm.
also like it just kind of adds insult to injury now at this point. But if it had to be a team, of course it was the Clippers. That's
I wonder if
yeah.
should this be proven to be true, what are
hmm
the repercussions? Is it against Kawhi? Is it against Steve Ballmer? Is it against the Clippers organization? Like, how did the penalties get dealt out here? Because clearly all of it is illegal for all of the parties, but like, who does the league think is like should be the most severely punished?
Off the top of my head, how I think it goes Kawhi Leonard suspended.
You think suspended?
Yeah, maybe for I don't know how many games. Like
Yeah,
that's
Jonte Porter gambled on the league and he got exiled. He's
No, I
gone.
know. It's tough because again, it's like yeah, no. I get it. It's suspension also does, but I feel like that is like the least worst thing that could happen is
Hmm.
suspension and then the Clippers being fined a lot of money.
Fined a lot. Yeah.
And then like I don't know, like it's weird because next I think okay they should be punished by like they can't even go to the second apron like they only do first apron now like something, but also this was 6 years ago. It's like I don't, maybe this is a legal thing. Maybe this is like they go to
Yeah.
trial or something. I don't know enough about that kind of stuff to really, um, you know, go into like the legality. Like, is it legal to pay someone a no-show endorsement for 28 million? Like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But in a court of law, maybe that's fine. Um, Anywho, I don't know, but we'll definitely keep everyone updated. I mean, it first has to be proven. There's still no like concrete proof, at least from what I could see. But we'll keep everyone updated. Are you looking up some?
Yeah, I was
Mhm.
reading this article that you sent me earlier that I thought
Mhm.
was interesting. In 2000, the Timberwolves gave a secret agreement with Joe Smith, journeyman Joe Smith. That's a real name. The guy played on like 15 teams. And allegedly, they promised to pay him a future multi-million dollar deal if he signed on like a short one-term deal for that 1 year. Which is another thing I feel like happens all the time. If you remember, like James Harden
Literally, I was about to say that. Yeah,
with the 76ers was like, I signed the short deal because then they said they were going to give me this big deal. Nothing ever came of that, by the way. Um,
that's why you got
but
so upset. Yeah.
in this um, in this 2000 thing, the NBA penalized the Wolves by removing 5 first round picks. 5 drafts worth of first round picks gone. Fined the team $3.5 million and banned head coach Kevin McHale at the time and owner Glenn Taylor. Hey, Glenn Taylor.
Yo,
Well,
what?
for a year. So they got a year ban. That's what I was thinking
Whoa.
was maybe a solution there. Like I know a couple years ago, Tyreek Evans, when he was still in the league, he had used like some performing enhancing substances or something like that.
Hmm.
And he was banned for like 2 years. That was like his punishment. So
Crazy. Well, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Thank you for telling. I didn't know about the 2000 Joe Smith thing, of course, but interesting trip down memory lane. Glenn Taylor and the Wolves.
hmm,
I'll do this next one because I feel like you got a lot to say about the next thing. So Max Strus underwent surgery to repair a Jones fracture in his left foot that he sustained this offseason. He's going to be out for 3 to 4 months. So that kind of cuts into the Cavaliers' depth, but he'll be back hopefully sooner than later, and with a foot that isn't fractured. And
yeah, I think this happened before last episode, and I just totally missed it. So,
yeah, I remember kind of reading something like this.
but yeah, I mean they'll be fine to start the season. DeAndre Hunter
Yeah,
will probably start, and then off the bench, I don't know.
Lonzo.
I guess Lonzo is kind of a three, huh? He's
Because I
kind of
would
transitioned into a small forward.
I was thinking Okoro, and I was like, he's not there anymore. Who'd they
He's not
get?
there anymore.
Lonzo. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, okay.
It's gonna be weird getting used
Sam
to.
Merrill. Yeah, it's fine. They got people. They're fine.
Yeah, this next thing that you hinted at, Matt Ishbia, Phoenix Suns owner, has been quite the spectacle since purchasing this team. Of course, originally pursued a very aggressive strategy, trading for Kevin Durant, traded for Bradley Beal. Both of them are not on that team anymore. Um, and that team didn't work out before Bradley Beal or after Bradley Beal or during Bradley Beal. And even with Kevin Durant, they had never made it out the first round, I believe. Um,
Second round because I think they beat the Clippers one year in the first round. I went to a game. That's about it.
okay. But not a
D
ton of
yeah,
success.
yeah.
And I think we talked about this last offseason. He said something like 26 owners would kill to be in our position. Well, that hasn't aged well. It wasn't great at the time, and it certainly hasn't aged well. Anyways, some more Matt Ishbia news for you. Two minority Suns owners, the only two that kept stakes in the team when Ishbia purchased it from Robert Sarver, are suing him for a lack of transparency and a mismanagement of the team. So apparently, I was reading into this, the minority owners, they wanted like the full breakdown of, you know, profits and pay and all this money financial stuff. And I guess when they kept asking about it, they were just kind of given like limited viewpoints. They weren't really given like everything that they requested. And I guess they're fed up with it. And they're like, "What are you doing with our money?" Basically, which is fair.
Yeah.
Fair to say, if I have millions of dollars invested into a team, I'd like to know what's happening. So I think that checks out. We'll see if anything happens with that. And then in addition to that, I saw this the other day. I thought it was funny. So ESPN put out their rankings for the year, just like a couple of different categories. One of them were like teams that could have a downturn or a turn for the worst. And the Suns were pretty low on that, which makes sense because they just got rid of Kevin Durant. Like they're going to be a younger team, probably a little more rebuild-y, despite the Rockets having their picks. Haha. Um, and he quote tweeted this and said, "I'm not worried about what the so-called experts think. They had us as a title contender the past 2 years and were wrong then. We're focused on making our fans proud by playing great as a team and building a brand of basketball that's tough and gritty." So, Matt Ishbia is saying, "You thought we were good and we sucked, so I don't care."
I didn't read it that way before, but hearing it out loud is so funny. Oh my God. It's like, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, you thought I was good. And you were wrong. So
what
you
do I
can't
care what you
trust
think?
them.
You think we're a competent team, and you were absolutely wrong.
Oh my
Just a
God.
hilarious response to have to
So
this.
funny.
I do like building basketball that's tough and gritty. Like he didn't turn around and say, "We're shooting for the title this year" or something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
which they're
like
not.
that's fine. But yeah, they had us as a title contender and we're wrong is hilarious. So funny to just say.
Yeah. Um, well, thank you for, I didn't even hear about that. So thank you for bringing that. Curious to see what happens with that suing stuff. Interesting.
Okay.
The 2026 NBA All-Star Game is likely to feature a round-robin tournament of three eight-player teams, two representing the USA and one representing the world. Sick.
That sounds awful. Um, apparently, this was brought to the competition committee today by players, by some coaches, by a bunch of groups of people, and it was positively received, is what I heard, what I read. So that sucks.
Well, now
Clearly, the tournament style didn't work last year, so why are we doing it again?
also only having the world, like
Yes,
I
only
really
eight world
just
players.
yeah. So it's like that. Is that some kind of response to the fact that like maybe half of All Stars now are like world and USA, like they're trying to make it more about like that sucks.
That would be really stupid.
That would be
If
terrible. Yeah.
Like I haven't thought about this really a lot since reading it, so it was just today when it came out. Um, but right off the dome, Luka, Jokic, Shea, Giannis, those are some of the best players in the world. That's
Four out
four
of
world
five.
players,
Yeah,
and
literally.
those are locked in to that team, right? And I'm sure there are others that I'm forgetting. Wimby,
Wemby,
he's gonna be there,
Sabonis, Şengün.
of course. Oh, Şengün, he killed Jokic today
Yeah,
at Eurobasket, so that was
sure
huge.
did. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that. I also don't like this next thing. Tell me about it.
Uh, Stream East. If you don't know what Stream East is, it is an illegal pirating sporting website in which you can go to watch football, basketball, baseball, boxing, tennis, UFC, basically any sport you can think of. If there was a match occurring, Stream East had it, and you could watch it. Allegedly, I've never used Stream East, so I wouldn't know anything about this. Um, but the people got like arrested. I was reading a report and it was like a, I want to say police, but like in Egypt, somebody like kicked out the door and arrested two guys, and there were like laptops hooking up to StreamEast and like running the whole deal. So apparently that's what happened. They found the home base.
Hmm.
So RIP Stream East. I'm sure there will be no counterparts that come up in their rise and give access in another way. Now everyone has to pay a lot of money for 65 different streaming services because every sports league has like multiple streaming services to watch each game because they're not all in one place. And I'm sure everyone is going to do that and not find any other alternatives. So,
Absolutely. Allegedly, this was one of my favorite sites ever. Allegedly. If I were to watch things illegally, it would be, but I wouldn't. I always pay for things. Um,
uh,
but I know that we discuss like, what as a fan now, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna make sure we have Prime, Peacock, League Pass? I have to get Spectrum Sportsnet for Lakers. You have to get like there's
it's
Rocket
like
something.
it's like AT&T
C-SPAN or
Sport.
yeah, something. It's
Some people got
just
to get ballyhoo.
yeah, it's just you know what? It's like
Fubo.
it's yeah, it's just terrible. But yeah, rest in peace to a legend and definitely never used it. Shall we continue?
Let's continue. Yeah.
Cool. I want to talk about Eurobasket just a little, just barely. So, the group stage is about to wrap up and go into the round of 16. So there's three groups and there's six. No, there's four groups, and then six in each, and then the four of the best in each are advancing to the round of 16.
Okay.
Um, Lithuania is going to advance. I think Slovenia is still fighting to advance. Most of the really good ones are advancing. France is going to advance, and Serbia's doing really good. Germany's playing really well. And I mentioned Lithuania; they're going to advance even after their best player, arguably, Rokas Jokubaitis, sustained an ACL and meniscus injury in his left knee, and he's only
Oh.
19. Yeah,
Oh, dang.
it's
That
he's going to be
sucks.
out for 6 months at the least.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
he's done.
yeah, it's terrible. It's and he was playing really well. I know, like the Knicks were interested in signing him. Maybe someone else would after this because he's having a really good. This is kind of like what Gershon Yabusele. He had a really good like Olympics, so then
Hmm.
he was able to kind of get a start. So it's one of those a lot of these players that maybe wouldn't have a chance to now have this stage to perform their best work. And he was playing absolutely incredibly. And now he can't. So it's just really unfortunate for a really good young player. So fast recovery and get well soon. And we'll see you next year.
Yeah. Tough. Both in one is not good.
Yeah,
No bueno, as they say over in Lithuania.
that's exactly right. Negare. Negare. Not good. All right. You know what it's time for?
What's the time for, man? Tell me,
It's
please.
time for ranking the starting power forwards. It's your birthday. It's ranking the starting power forwards. It's your birthday.
I like that. That was huge. Yeah,
Doing
let me
good.
go ahead and pull up the screen here. And while I do that, I will say this that I say every episode because it's important. But when we do these rankings, we do it projecting for the future season. So it is not a, oh, I totally shared this specific webpage instead of my screen. Hold on. Because that's not going to let you see our beautiful faces, which is unfortunate. That should work. Um, So we do this projecting. So we are going to go through the list of starting power forwards that we think is going to be for every team this NBA season. S meaning they are the absolute best in that position. F meaning they are garbage and should not be in the NBA. Not really. It just means they are probably not starting caliber and should probably come off the bench in an ideal situation compared to the rest of these guys. We're projecting, meaning we're not looking at last season. I mean, we are, but we're not ranking it off of last season. We're thinking, where are they going to finish at the end of this season? So we have a list of faces. We have lots of tiers to put them in. I added a bunch
Oh.
myself because
Hmm.
there were potential starters that I thought weren't listed, and just in case we decide to go a different direction, I wanted to have those options available for the ones that were not tried and true. Although I'm looking at it now and I see Jovic is on here, and I didn't see him, so I added him. So he's on here twice now. Um,
Heyo.
Congratulations. And of course, you know I got the wheel ready to go so we can figure out what team we're going to start with. Dom's starting, whether he likes it or not. So,
Oh, could it be? Could
look
it
at that.
be?
Look at that.
Wow, the Heat. Okay, here
The
we go. So
Miami Heat. So
we
yeah, I should say because I have many depth charts pulled up, because I and they're all different by the way. So like
hmm
a bunch of teams just have like a bunch of different depth charts. For the Heat, they had the Khalil Ware, Bam Adebayo thing that we talked about last time. We ended up putting Bam at the five officially because their center depth behind Bam is practically non-existent. At the four, I thought of Jovic, and I thought that made sense, especially because he's doing pretty well in Eurobasket himself. I thought of Jaime Jaquez as well. He's been a guy that has started that position, and I thought of Wiggins because ultimately they could start Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, Norm Powell, and then Wiggins would be the four in that lineup.
hmm
But what do you think?
So I think what makes the most sense to me is Davion Hero. Um, bless you. Davion, Tyler Hero, Andrew Wiggins, Jovic, Adebayo, personally.
Yeah, let's see
And
Jovic.
then Norman Powell off the bench, six man of the year vibes all
Powell off the
over
bench,
again.
Jaquez off the bench, Khalil Ware off the bench.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's a pretty strong starting lineup and has a very even defense and offensive balance with Davion
Mm.
Mitchell and guard play. So I think it's going to be Jovic.
Tell me
And
about the legend.
yeah, Nikola Jovic is not a bad player. He's good. He's very young still. I think he's in his third year, third or fourth year. He plays a lot better when he plays on the Serbian team. Could be because he's playing with Jokic, who is the greatest player in the world, probably. So, but he is a player who can. He has flashes of being able to shoot the ball. He can defend pretty well. He has a very long wingspan, which helps him on defense, and he fits into that Miami Heat mentality of like very gritty play and very just like diving for the ball, and he fits really well with that system. That being said, he's still pretty young, and he's getting better. But I just think with the team with the players around him, I think that's who elevates him. And I don't think there's anyone like a Jokic that elevates him to being really that good. So I see him as like a D tier starting power forward. But you know, he's still young. He's going to develop a bit more. I just don't think he's going to be he's not going to be like a Kevin Durant one day or anything like that. He is what he is, basically just going to get a little bit wiser and smarter with his play. So that's what I think. What about you?
Yeah, it's always tough when we start because like we don't know where to go. We don't know exactly what the list is going to look like when we get to the end here. So putting those first couple players on is like, I don't know. And then we end up, maybe moving them around eventually.
Mhm.
Definitely still really young. Maybe like 21, 20. Like he came into the league and hadn't graduated high school yet. So he is very, very, very much on that side of things. I think with the Heat's roster, no more Jimmy Butler, of course. Wiggins and Hawkins are kind of a similar position. I think Jovic will finally get more run. I do think the positive play overseas will hopefully help that narrative and give him more opportunity. And I'm excited to see how he will develop because I think he is kind of still a project in that way. I do think he will be. What was that?
He's 22. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, what did you just do? 22. Gotcha. Um, yeah, I think D tier is fine. I don't think he's a horrible player. I think starting is good, but I don't really see like a super high ceiling. Did you say
Yeah.
D tier? I already forgot.
Yeah, I did say D tier, yeah.
That's what I thought.
And I said the same thing about the ceiling too, yeah. I think I mentioned like when you pair him with someone who is able to assist on like if you put him with like a Luka or with a Jokic, I feel like it enhances his game. That's why he plays so well overseas. But good player, still very young. So D tier.
We will see. We will see.
As we do. All right, who we talking about next? Who we talking about
On to the next
next?
one. On to the next one. On to the
Tell
next
me,
one.
tell me about him.
All right, I will tell you about the one and only Julius Randle.
Yes, you
Phew.
will.
I think is a better player than people give credit for. He is on and off as he has been, or he has been on and off these last kind of 5 years. Great season, season, great season, season, and people kind of can't figure it out. I feel like he had a better season with the Timberwolves last year than most people expected. I think a lot of people were pretty sad about the Karl Anthony Towns trade. I still think Karl Anthony Towns is a better player, and that's fine. But I do think that Julius Randle fit in with the Wolves more than people thought. I think he kind of added an element to their team they didn't have with kind of the bruiser style that he can possess. Cat, not really known for that. He is more of a shooter and really close to the basket. He is pretty good, but Randall kind of operates in that mid range, which not a lot of people on the Wolves do. So just add a little bit to their offense, little secondary creation, never hurt anybody. I think he'll be pretty good this season. I think he'll be also even more important with some of their people that left. Like I know Nikhil Alexander Walker doesn't play the same position as him or anything, but that's just one less person that can kind of do stuff on offense. So then it makes the burden on the other guys a little bit more. Looking at the whole list of players we have and the players we're going to get to, I think a safe projection for me for Julius Randle is right in the B tier. I think he's right probably below the A tier guys, and definitely above the C tier guys. So B tier feels good to me, but what do you think?
I was thinking the exact same thing, especially now because they were going into the season with the confidence that they do work well together. That being Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle, and even Gobert. You can throw in everyone in that starting lineup. There's a lot of question marks going in last season, and they did not start well last season,
Hmm.
but they did end pretty strong and also had a very strong playoff berth. So I agree. I think he is a B tier player. I think he really showed that he can rise to the occasion when needed, and it was nice to see that the situation allowed him to.
Hmm.
And yeah, I definitely agree with you. He's better player than people think. Even when I hear his name, I'm like, I kind of like roll my eyes, but it's like, why? It's, I don't really, maybe just the inconsistency, but he's not inconsistent to the point of like, he's not a good player because he still can do many, many things for you. And at least if he's not like playing well during a game, he can be like a scapegoat or just kind of like a pawn, like, you know, people still respect his game,
Hmm.
so they have to still defend him and whatnot. So yeah, Julius Randle's good, good player.
Good NBA player. Shout out
Hmm.
Julius, King Julius, if you will.
Yes.
If
Oh,
he ever
from
goes to Sacramento,
Madagascar.
that's a nickname waiting to happen.
It sure is. Toronto Raptors. Okay, so
This
what
is
are
Mr. Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes? Okay, that makes sense. So Scotty Barnes, I mean, incredible basketball player, still very young, was an all-star last
I'm
year or
just
the
gonna
year
throw him up here and then I'm
before.
gonna scroll up so we can see.
I got you. Yeah, Scotty Barnes, he can really score at all three levels. I think his three ball wasn't great last year, if I remember, but he can shoot the three, and teams respect it. Really can just score under the hoop and get to the hoop. I think his defense leaves some room to be desired. He definitely can, and I think when the Raptors give him the keys, he can really go off. I mean, he can have a 28, 10, and 6 game like nobody's business. And now I'm trying to understand a bit more what they're trying to do with Brandon Ingram coming there. If they're trying to they might share the ball a bit more. He really needs the ball in his hand to really be that good of a player as he is. That being said, if we're just projecting how good of a player he is, I mean, he's really, really good and he's still very young. I'd probably say low A tier, just because his ceiling is still he's still not gotten to his potential, and I think he can get there. But the Raptors are just in a weird space. That's why I'm kind of hesitant. I feel like low A, high B, but I feel like he's more leaning A. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty close to that estimation. I think I was also trying to decide between A and B tier myself. People forget this guy won Rookie of the Year over Evan Mobley, over Cade Cunningham. He came onto the scene strong and has not been. I think the slight that people have had is he came on so strong, but with Mobley and Cunningham, we've seen a ton of growth, and we haven't maybe seen as much growth from Scotty Barnes. I think his situation is probably the least favorable of the three, with Mobley obviously in a very successful Cavs team, Cunningham kind of leading the charge on the Pistons since he got there, and Scotty Barnes has kind of had to be this weird like when their older guys were going out, and then like now they have new young talent. Now he finally feels like he's going to be the focal point of this team. I think you're underrating his defense. I think he fits in with that
Really?
Raptors
Okay.
wing defense, defensive identity. He's not probably like OG level, but I think he's probably just a level or two below that. Huge wingspan, which is always kind of important for that side of the ball. He's definitely kind of. We just talked about Randall. He's had a little bit of up and down these past couple years, which is fine. You know, it's normal that that happens with young players. They don't always necessarily grow in a straight upward trajectory. Sometimes they have slumps and ebbs and flows and etc. But I do think he will be the focal point of their offense this year. I
Mhm.
think the team around him makes probably the most sense as than it has like his entire time since he's been a Raptor. And I'm excited. Yeah, I think low A tier is fine for now. If we see that A tier is a little crowded later, then maybe we bump him to the top of B. But I think this is all right.
Yeah. I probably was just his defense. From what I remember, just what I was watching. I didn't watch all 82 games, but what I saw just didn't
How dare you?
blow me away. But hey, I don't have to worry about it because you're gonna tell me all about the New Orleans Pelicans, your favorite, dude.
I don't like talking about this guy. I'm gonna put everyone in S tier until until we actually rank them.
Okay.
So Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans, their power forward. Oh, it's the same thing every year. How many games is this guy gonna play? Uh, when he's on the court, he looks awesome. When he's on the court, he really does look like an S tier player. They're like unstoppable levels of force, Shaq-esque in terms of I don't know what to do against this because he's so strong in the paint and can kind of just bully his way to the rim. But he is also he's only like 6'6" and has the footwork and finesse to get around some of like the stouter, larger rim protectors that do have the strength to size him up. So he's kind of in this weird in between ground. Defense hasn't been great in the NBA. I think people sometimes think Zion's a great defender because he can like fly out of the gym. And like, every now and then it's like, oh, he jumped 8 feet in the air and blocked the ball. but he's not like a great defender. Some of that is motor related too. I think he usually carries a relatively heavy offensive burden. And then, of course, with the injuries he sustained throughout his career, he's not always in peak shape. That's another thing that people will often mention when talking about Zion is how he looks and if he's fit and all that. Um, a really hard player to rank because the health is a factor, obviously, and I think skill wise, he would be better than everyone we've talked about so far. That being said, I'm projecting to the end of this upcoming season. Let's think about it this way. Do I think Zion will have a better season than Scotty Barnes? Probably not. I just don't trust the consistency. Do I think he could have a better season than Julius Randle? It's tough. It's tough. Julius Randle's there. I know he's going to be there. Um, so I'm kind of leaning A and B right now in terms of those two options. I think I would definitely put him behind Scotty Barnes because I think Scotty Barnes is going to show up and be there and have a great season. Even if Zion has a better season, it doesn't matter that much if it's a 40 game season.
Yeah.
So I am between. I don't know if I'm between Scotty Barnes and Julius Randle, or even if I think Julius Randle is going to have a better season than Zion, and Zion's on the beach here. But help me out here. Help me, please. Tell me what you think.
Just put him behind Julius Randle, man. And here's the thing, I watched a lot of Zion, and yeah, you said it perfectly. When he's on the court, he's unstoppable. And I think, we talk about lacking defense. He's not really expected to be too much. That's why they have people like Trey Murphy III and Herb Jones on defense to kind of help out. DeJounte Murray's also still there. Can't forget that.
Hmm.
But yeah, he's just I'm already on the team. Like, just get rid of him, New Orleans. Because I don't think he's gonna play. Like, he can't qualify for any awards. I mean, the one year he did was like 2, 3 years ago. This is the only time he's ever been able to when he played in the All-Star game.
Hmm.
And it's like I can't trust a player. I cannot, in all good faith, project him to be better if he's not playing. And this is the same thing that we've talked about um, with the center. I can't remember. We've talked about anyone with injury issues. It's like
We gave Embiid his own tier.
that's what it was. We're not going to give Zion his own team. He's not. He's
Okay.
not. He's not. He's not MVP level like Embiid can
Sure,
be.
sure, sure, sure.
I think on his best days, Zion is A tier behind Scotty, but I think those days may be behind us.
Wow.
And I'm projecting B tier behind Julius Randle. Yeah.
Zion hater Adonis. That's what I'm learning.
No, no. You know what? I'm a Pelicans fan. I love Pelicans fans, and they don't deserve this, man. They just don't. All right, gonna talk about the Clippers. Ah, yes, from one team you love to another team I love.
Of
Um,
course, this is another tricky depth chart, if I
I was
remember
gonna
correctly.
say, yeah,
I think they are going to start John Collins
yeah,
at the four. The depth chart, I mean, these depth charts make absolutely no sense. They have Derrick Jones Jr. as the third string small forward. That was the other guy that came to my head of like
yeah.
being the starter. I don't think he's the third string small forward.
No,
Um, so that was interesting. So yeah,
um,
I think John Collins makes sense though, but I think Derrick Jones was already on here as well if you thought
yeah, I
beyond
see him.
previous.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think John Collins as well. Even though Derrick Jones Jr. knows the system more, John Collins is learning it, and it'll be fine. Okay, so John Collins, underrated player, has always been on the trade block for whatever reason when it was with the Hawks, with the Jazz, but underrated, had really good seasons with the Jazz, and he had a 3-point shot. Not really as much anymore. He can, but not really. He is really what he is a defensive threat, and he is a he'll catch lobs like nobody's business. And if he's under the hoop, he's gonna make it. He's a very good NBA player. I think the Clippers did a great job by signing him. I don't love they gave got had to give up Norman Powell, but did a good job supplementing that. John Collins is a good player, and I think the only thing about him when I look at some of the other players on this list is he can't really create for himself. Really
Mm.
needs someone to create for him, which the Clippers have Harden, they have Chris Paul, they have Kawhi Leonard who can help too. So I think this is going to be a really good season for him. That being said, I think he's definitely like a C tier player because he's not, like I said, he can't really create for himself, but he's also been around long enough that you can really trust him in a system. So he's not really D tier like Jovic. So I think C tier comfortably. But what do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking C tier as well. I like that you said he's underrated. I think that's true. I think people actually pick on his defense quite a bit, and I feel like that part of it is a little overblown. I actually feel like as a defender, he's grown a lot throughout his career. I don't think he's Rudy Gobert necessarily, but I think that he tries. He puts a lot of effort in. I mean, the Anthony Edwards dunk over him was like super famous and like went crazy, right? But he was there and jumped. Like he attempted, right? And a lot of people that's half the battle. Um, yeah, the spacing has been a little inconsistent in his career. Hopefully, he can get that back. I think it will be interesting how much with James Harden and Chris Paul, both elite level lob throwers. So I think that will bring out some of that element of his game too. The vertical threat, I think, is what they like to call it, having that element of your offense. And as much as we love Zubac and Brook Lopez, just not in their bag. They cannot get that off the ground. So John Collins will be great for that. I think C tier it feels perfect to me.
Cool. 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 I also love that new environment's going to be really helpful for him too. So
Mhm.
I think it's going to help a lot.
Atlanta.
Oh wow. Okay. Old team.
Um, yeah, Atlanta, the Hawks. What do I think about Jalen Johnson? Is definitely going to be their starting four.
Hmm.
I like Jalen Johnson. He's had 2 seasons now, I think, back to back that have both been kind of cut short with injury. So that is unfortunate. I think the flashes we've seen, people are like, Trey Young, this is our new superstar. We love this guy. He's awesome. And he has been very, very good. I think there's a very high ceiling here. Hopefully, with their kind of new team. I say new team because they got some supplemental pieces. They got rid of some pieces. I think they're kind of finally finding an identity for themselves. Um, I think Jalen Johnson is going to be their second best player with the bullet. I think he he's kind of interesting because he reminds me of almost like a Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter type in terms of his slashing ability, which I feel like is a skill in the NBA that has kind of fallen out as spacing has become more of a thing. So I like that kind of fun element that he brings to it as well. Looking at our list here that we have, I think he is at least in the B tier. I think your Jalen Johnson optimist would even wager that he could finish this next season as an A tier player. I don't think I would quite go there yet. I'd probably say I might have him behind Zion because he has had the last 2 seasons ended with injury as well, so it's not like he has been the pinnacle of health himself. But I do think the possibility is there that he has a really good season, better than the other B tier players we have.
Yeah, I was exactly thinking the same thing on the B tier behind Zion. I think, I could see a world, like you said, where he ends up having a better season than Julius Randle. Better than Zion. Like I can see that. Probably not Scotty Barnes, but I think he's still growing as a player, still learning. Like you said, he's had 2 season-ending kind of injuries to happen, and it sucks with such a young player. And you hope it doesn't really affect them later, but you don't know till you see it. So I think we're erring on the side of caution by putting B tier. But at his best, he's easily A tier. But happy to see that Jalen Johnson will be back and starting for the Hawks. And next year, this he will be in a very different level on this tier list, possibly.
Kaka, as they say.
Kaka.
Zach Lowe loves some Kaka.
Yes. He sure
Also,
does. All right,
you
who
don't
am I
listen to
talking
Zach Lowe.
about?
Fake fan, fake fan.
I listened to him
Um,
twice. I listened to him twice. Detroit
wow.
Pistons. So we got who do you got? We got Isaiah Stewart. Is that where we're
Nope.
going? We're going Tobias Harris. Yes, another underrated player. Because yeah, his last game with the 76ers didn't go so well. But last year with the Pistons was pretty good. So Tobias Harris is a player who can score all 3 levels. He can defend pretty well. He's getting a little bit older. But it's nice that you have a veteran like that on your team when Cade Cunningham was just being swarmed on defense by the Knicks, you had Tobias Harris to kind of help alleviate some of that in the playoffs. Um, I like him a lot on this team. I think he fits in the system. And where does he fit in this? Because the thing is, it's what's crazy is he can also create, and that's where I'm kind of putting that divide for me personally is between the C tier below and B tier up. Is like they can kind of have the ball and like cook, as
Hmm.
they say. Um, so, but I feel like Tobias Harris is either very is a high C or a low B.
Yeah, I like Tobias's veteran presence on the Sixers. I mean, on the Pistons. After I was thinking of after the Sixers, when I
Yeah,
think his reputation was kind of bleh, and
yeah,
people are like very excited about Paul George, and then Tobias Harris came in and had a way better season than Paul George.
Joey
So
did.
I think that was kind of funny, poetic justice in a way, and I imagine he'll continue to be that kind of veteran presence and almost like a safety blanket on offense when their other plans aren't working. For me, when I looked at his name and I looked at our list, just because I don't think the ceiling is quite there, I was thinking high C tier. That's kind of where I was landing in my mind, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely, yeah. That makes total sense because he is the player he's going to be. He's not going to have this incredible breakout season and get most improved player or anything like that. That's those days are behind him,
They're behind
but
Bucks
still a good
legend Tobias
player.
Harris.
Forgot he was on the Bucks. Hey, you said the Bucks. You got the
Dude,
Bucks.
I'm killing it today. I'm killing it with these predictions.
This one should be pretty easy.
Okay, it's me, right?
Yeah, lucky.
Great. So the Bucks power forward, where is he? It's this guy right here, Giannis Antetokounmpo, top five player in the league, defensive freak show. He's won DPOY, he's won two MVPs. He's unstoppable in offense. He takes three steps and goes across the whole court, ducks the ball. Is that a little bit of a mid-range game that sometimes he takes and it's like okay, and sometimes he takes and it's like please don't do that anymore, because it looks so bad. But it's leaning more to the okay side, I think, later on here in his career. He's going to be the only thing the Bucks really have going for them. The East is looking pretty weak. If the Bucks finish as a top three seed, I wouldn't be that shocked because Giannis is that good. I think people are going to pencil in Cleveland and New York as the top two, rightfully so. Those teams look pretty good. Then after that, it's kind of this modge podge. Is it the Magic? Is it the Hawks? Is it the blank? Is it the blank? If it were the Bucks, I'd be a little surprised, but I wouldn't be that surprised because this guy is just that good and can carry that team.
Yeah, Giannis Antetokounmpo is one of the best players in the world right now. He is an NBA champion with the Bucks. It's going to look a little bit different now without people he's played with years past, like Brook Lopez. So he's going to really have to be more lean more into that defense. Can't really rely on somebody. But here's the thing: you can rely on a Miles Turner, who's also very good on defense. So probably won't be too different. Although who else behind those two are the stars? Bobby Portis? I don't think so. So it's going to be a tough season to try to make it, in the very top of the East. But I mean, when the playoffs come around, they're no joke. They mean business. Also forgot to mention they are an in-season tournament winner.
Mhm.
Very
The
important.
reigning in-season tournament. How could we
Sure
forget?
are. And S tier is right where he belongs. He's probably the best player in the power forwards. Um,
Yeah, no one else comes to mind, but maybe we'll see.
we'll see. There's one. No, I'm just kidding. Let's talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. Okay, so is this Santi Aldama?
It's sure not. Do you know better?
Is it Trey J? Oh, who
Yeah,
was the five? Oh, Zach Edey. I keep
Zach
forgetting
Edey.
Zach Edey's a
Yeah.
player. Oh my F tier Zach Edey. Sorry. Jaren Jackson Jr., whom we've met, was very nice. Has been DPOY. Can get you 7 blocks in a game. He's done that. He can shoot.
Allegedly. I don't know if anyone's fact checked those Grizzlies scorekeepers over there, but it's all
Oh,
home
gotcha.
games when he got these blocks. So.
I mean, that's a pretty good point. But yeah, he can really do it all. The only thing he really can't do is rebound. And that's why you need to have rebounding around him in this Grizzlies team. But we're talking about him as an individual player. I mean, not a lot of holes in this game. He fouls too much, sure.
Mm.
But man, he can defend. He gets the ball down low. If he doesn't get to the free throw line, or if he doesn't make a layup, he'll get to the free throw line. And has been playing with a lot of these core guys for a while. He's just such an awesome player. Um, and has been that way consistently, which is also nice when he's not out with an injury. How do I see him on this tier is interesting because I see him on A tier, but do I think he's going to be better than Scotty Barnes? Is very interesting. Maybe he will be because he is the only other player on the Grizzlies I really trust besides John Morant. But do I really trust John Morant? Which is another question.
True.
Demetrius, what do we do with you? Um, Help me out. What do you think?
Yeah, it's tough. I am kind of feeling similarly in terms of placement here. Let me lay out my reasons for Trey J. The shooting is great, even though the shot itself it looks funky as hell. Um, the defense is awesome. You did mention fouling. That's a great point by you. It's been his kryptonite as a defender throughout his career, despite his very good defense, is that he, is playing 28 minutes a game because he gets in foul trouble so much. So I think that's important to mention. It definitely has a little bit of a post game. Doesn't hasn't ever really gotten to use it that much because he's been surrounded by currently Zach Edey. Before that, Steven Adams. Before that, Valanciunas. So like he's had these kind of big burly centers down low, so it gets a little clogged. It's kind of hard to operate at that level. But I have seen it. It is there. And yeah, I like you mentioning the holes in his game. I mean, I think there have been times in his career, in the playoffs, for example, where he hasn't exactly shown up. Like he's not like, oh, there's Jaren Jackson, he's awesome. Like maybe he's kind of shied away from those moments a little bit. But that being said, the Grizzlies haven't had a ton of opportunity, anyways, in the postseason to really display that. Well, I'm thinking about again the question I asked earlier: who will have a better season next year? Scotty Barnes, Jaren Jackson Jr. I think I'm leaning Scotty Barnes. Also because Scotty Barnes is, I think, going to be the best player on the Raptors. And I don't think Jaren Jackson Jr. will be the best player on the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And I think Jaren Jackson Jr. Here's the way I can put it. His game is more predicated to that of a role player. Even if he's a very good role player and he fulfills his role well, he is not the center point of the offense and what the game will flow through. And I think Scotty Barnes will be that for the Raptors next year.
And that's a good point because we literally saw that when John Morant was out and when like it was just really just Jaren Jackson Jr. on the Grizzlies trying to do everything. The Grizzlies were terrible.
Yeah,
Not because he was bad, it's just because that's just like you said, that's not his game. He's not really one of those people who creates or leads the team in that way. He just gets on the court and does his job very, very well. So. Yeah, so I think A tier behind Scotty Barnes makes a lot of sense. Also, Scotty Barnes' ceiling is still higher.
that's fair. Yeah, I think Jared Jackson has kind of leveled out for sure.
Yeah, still good. Ooh, all
But
right.
this one's going to be interesting. I'm excited about this.
All right, talk to me. Talk to me.
Aaron Gordon, a player that started his career in the Orlando Magic and was kind of whatever. Like he was not super defined in any way except for dunk contest, it felt like. Then he went to the Nuggets, had a good year or two, and I was like, okay, okay. And then he got braids, and I was like, yuck. Um, but man, has Aaron Gordon been so good for this team over the past 2 to 3 seasons? I would say at most of that period, he may have been their second best player, even over Jamal Murray, because his defense has been immaculate. He is always there in the big moment. He knows where to be, makes tough shots. He's really, really good at working with Jokic in tandem in terms of just being in the right spot so Jokic can make a wild pass that no one sees coming, and then Aaron Gordon is there to catch it for a layup or a shot or something like that. And he does everything that the Nuggets really need. All the dirty work that they don't want Jokic to do because he's Jokic and he needs to operate their offense. Aaron Gordon will do the other way. So he's a great player. Like we just talked about, Jaren Jackson, certainly a role player. He's not the star, but he is an elite, elite role player and has been for the Nuggets these past couple of seasons. I think he will again fulfill that role this season, as the Nuggets are probably a top 3, 4 team coming into the season in the West. I think people would have the Thunder one, maybe the Rockets two, and then like the Nuggets are right there. I don't think anybody thinks that they are, a pushover. So. He's going to be an important part of that. It's so interesting to look at this tier list, though, because I think all the players in the B tier and all of the players in the A tier all are a little more involved, I would say, in kind of the team's offense than Aaron Gordon in terms of a direct impact. But I think all the little stuff that Aaron Gordon does is so important that I would. It's so hard. I feel like the spot that's calling out to me right now is leading the B tier, um, which sounds kind of crazy because I feel like the three guys there, Randall, Zion, and Jalen Johnson, all have higher ceilings, more to do on offense, etc. But I just feel like Aaron Gordon is very good at what he does, and I don't see that not being the case this season. But maybe you can sway me one way or the other. What do you think?
Um, I think the only reason why I would maybe say behind Julius Randle is because Aaron Gordon suffered an injury. He was playing like on one foot in the playoffs last year.
Hmm.
So I feel like I don't know how it's going to affect his game coming in. That being said, I was a Aaron Gordon non-believer for many years. And last year I really watched quite a bit of Nuggets when they were in the playoffs and really clicked in my NBA brain of how good of a player he is and how he fits into that system of theirs. Um, so I'm not saying that. I'm saying I respect his game very, very much. But like what you were saying, I can see him having a better year than Zion and Jalen Johnson just because he is being set up by a Jokic, and that's very, very important. And he can be better than Jamal Murray because Jamal Murray, when he's cold, he's cold. When Aaron Gordon's cold, he's still blocking people and like making like a three to like win a game against the Thunder in the playoffs and go up, 1-0 or whatever. So like, um, I just think Julius Randle will have a heavier load because of the situation and like it's expected. So I think Julius Randle will be a little bit better, but I ultimately leave it to you. I don't know if I was able to sway you.
No, yeah, I mean, I get that argument. Like I said, Julius Randle definitely has more of a burden to bear on that side of the ball. Makes a lot of sense to me. I just think, I don't want just because Aaron Gordon is not like this offensive star, as you may look at a lot of these players that end up high on tier list, that his impact isn't there.
Yeah,
Because it is.
absolutely. No, honestly, I did discount him a lot. I did not like him on the Magic, did not like him when he went to the Nuggets really, and I've been proven wrong, and that's okay.
The
That's okay.
New York Knickerbockers.
New York basketball. Okay, at the four we got
Does he know?
is it OG?
I'll have you know I had to add to this list.
OG.
They do have OG on here. He's right there.
Oh.
We forget about this guy.
Oh my God. I still okay, yeah, yeah. Karl Anthony Towns for sure, for sure.
I was like, why is OG on here?
It's I don't know. I'm still getting used to him being there. That's crazy.
I
But
think maybe this whoever made this projects Cat as the center and Mitchell Robinson going off the bench.
mm,
I feel like they love starting him, so I don't know. Both of
yeah,
them.
I definitely like Mitchell Robinson starting and Cat as the four. So Karl Anthony Towns, credible shooter and incredible on offense. Can play defense. Fouls too much though. Love his season last year with the Knicks. I want to say it was underrated, but I think he did get quite a few
It was
accolades for
awesome.
how good of a
I
season
think he
it
was like
was.
All
Yeah,
NBA second team.
yeah, so it just seemed like it was underrated because I don't know. I feel like it was just mostly what I saw around Karl Anthony Towns was a lot of people making fun of him and stop it. Okay, just let him play basketball. Jeez. Um, but yeah, one of our probably favorite players, probably one of the best shooting big men. Allegedly, he is the best shooting big man. That's what he said, self-proclaimed. Um, I really like Karl Anthony Towns. This is the Knicks' time. The East is there for the taking. I think he's going to go in and play as hard as he can because they were so close last year. And with injury stuff happening, they're gonna have a new coach. They're gonna have a new coach, but it's Mike Brown, whom I trust very much. Um, Now I'm only thinking he's definitely A tier. But I'm gonna say it. He's gonna have a better season than Scotty Barnes, just because I know he has to play with Jalen Brunson, but I think they know the system works, and they're going to even play off of each other even more this season. And I think it's gonna be even better than last year. So I think he's gonna have a better season than Scotty Barnes, just because there's so much more expected from them two Raptors. They could be 6th seed, they could be 11th seed, they could be in the play-in. Who knows? So that's what I think.
Yeah, Cat was freaking awesome last year. I was worried when he went to the Knicks that his game may not translate with their style, but he was great. He was a great kind of secondary option to Jalen Brunson. Gave the offense a little different look. Kind of got into his post game as well a lot, which surprised me, but it was very good. Yeah, you mentioned fouling. The defense is okay. It's gotten better. I think it was really bad early on in his career, and it's kind of become right around average, maybe a little below average still. But the offense is so good, and the ability that he has to kind of put pressure on teams in a way that no other players of his size can is very interesting and unique, and I think does add an element to New York's game that ultimately will raise their ceiling as they compete again in the weak Eastern Conference to potentially go to the finals this year. I was assuredly thinking ahead of Scotty Barnes. I was like, he's at the top of the A tier. Is he S tier? And then I was like, no, probably not. So I think the top of A tier feels like a right placement for me. I think he's going to have another great
Cool.
season. I think he's going to be a big reason that they have success this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There is an argument made for S tier one day. I think yeah, I think he's definitely top of A tier for sure.
Yeah, Cat's been in the league for like 10 years. I
Nope.
feel so old.
Sometimes I look at like old jerseys that they wears. I'm like, that was like, oh my, that's like in 2016. He wasn't there. I was like, oh my God, he was. That's crazy. Tell me
I don't want
about
to
your
talk about
favorite
I
the
don't want to talk
Celtics.
about the Celtics. Jason Tatum is injured for the whole season, so I don't know why he's on this tier list. This was one
Uh,
of the funnier ones when I went and looked at like
please show me.
all the different
Oh
tier
God.
lists. So they had Sam Hauser. They had Jason Tatum. Well, that's fun. And then
Jordan
this,
Walsh.
I believe this one they had Anemas Keita as the center and Chris Boucher at power forward, but we already had Chris
Mm.
Boucher as our center. So
So
I
they have
think,
Jordan Walsh. My
looking
God.
at looking at the names here, I think Sam Hauser is going to be this team's starting power forward.
Oh my
I think
God.
it's going to be Anthony Simons, not Peyton Pritchard. I think he'll come off the bench.
Yeah.
Anthony Simons, Derek White, Jalen Brown, Sam Hauser, and then Chris Boucher. Sam
Oh
Hauser's
my.
like 6'7". He's about the height of a power forward in the modern NBA. Um, he already plays for their team. He plays for their finals winning team in 2024. Jordan Walsh did not. I don't think they're going to start Neemias Queta and Chris Boucher. I think that would be insane to start both of them. So, um, I think it's going to be Hauser. That's my guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right. So
Here's
tell
what
me about him.
here's what Sam Hauser can do. He can shoot the three ball. All right, that's the end. But he does it very well. He is very smart. He always knows where to be. An underrated thing that people don't talk about a ton in basketball is positioning, and I think he is a player. When I watch the Celtics and I watch their success, just really kills you when you have, okay, Tatum, Brown, in their heyday, of course. Drew Holiday, Derek White, like we've sealed off all the options, and then they kick it to Sam Hauser in the corner. And it's like somebody missed their defensive assignment or didn't see Sam Hauser rotate. He got into an open spot, drills a three, and it's just like a heartbreaker because you're like, we had a good defensive possession and we fell apart in the last 2 seconds and have been burned by this sharpshooter. And now we are down 12 instead of 9 in the late third quarter. And now this game is a little tougher. He's just that guy. That being said, when I look at our whole list of power forwards here, he's going to be pretty low because his game is pretty one-sided. He does one thing. He actually is a fine defender too. Like he's not a great defender, but he's not a bad defender. He holds his own out there, even more so than Jovic, I think. Um, I think I'd probably head the D tier with them. I think he's probably better than Jovic right now. I think Jovic will have some growth this season. I don't think he'll quite be like if I plugged how I think Jovic is going to play this season onto the 2024 Finals winning Celtics. I don't think you would be more useful than Sam Hauser.
No, no, I totally agree. Yeah, Sam Hauser is a very competent NBA player. I think he benefits coming off the bench, makes him look really good. Starting is going to be tough. I think he will be able to rise to the occasion. But that being said, he will just do what he can do, and that will make shots. Um, but also him being a starter, he will have better defenders on him than he would maybe if he was coming off the bench. So I think it's going to be a little bit more limited than usual, but he is head of D tier for sure. He's not going to he's not going to be most improved player. He's not going to go go crazy, but he's not my least favorite part of the starting lineup for the Celtics. I'll tell you that much.
Is it Chris Boucher?
It's probably Chris Boucher, yeah. It would be
We're just getting
amazing coming
better,
off the
Boston.
bench.
We've already hit your two kind of struggling ones. Oh,
Ooh,
this is great.
Orlando. I love this. This is Paolo Banchero.
Paulo.
Paolo Banchero is really just such a fun basketball player to watch. He really has just gotten better every season. Unfortunately, last year he did have an injury that cost him the season, but he will be back this year fully healthy. I don't think it's crazy to think that he will be maybe in MVP conversations again, especially with the Eastern Conference being as weak as it is and the Magic just kind of loading up on really good players. They now have Desmond Bain and Jalen Suggs will be back, and they're just going to be at full strength. Paolo Banchero is their star, so everyone will be playing around him. He really can shoot the ball. I really trust him under the hoop. I trust him in his mid range. He's just a big guy. I remember, I'll never forget you saying this. Like when you watched him play live, it was like watching a man play Like he was a man
Mm.
amongst boys playing basketball, and I think every year he just gets stronger and more competent as a basketball player. His IQ gets better as well, and just love seeing that every year, that progression. I I think the only thing I think his defense is very good. What's expected from him on offense is okay, and there's a lot of people around him that help with the defense. That has room for to be desired. Also, his three ball, he's not bad. Probably league average, a little bit below league average. But I really, really want to put him in S tier behind
Yeah,
Giannis.
yeah.
What do you think?
I was thinking it. I was thinking it when you said it. It's tough. Paolo's awesome. He had that start at the season last year, and it was like, uh-oh, is this guy like the next guy? And then unfortunately, he had that injury. Never quite looked that dominant after coming back, but a great player nonetheless. It's very difficult as a wing player to be your kind of primary ball handler and like creator, but he does a pretty good job of that for a Magic team. But that being said, they have been like bottom 10 in offense for like 15 years. It's not just a Paolo thing. So hopefully he can get better with that. Maybe a little better with playmaking, a little better on defense. I think you mentioned Magic have a great defensive identity. I don't think he's necessarily the guy, but he's not a liability by any means. He's just kind of somewhere in the middle. I think he's going to be awesome this year. I think the Magic are going to be really, really good. We have not done standings projections quite yet. We will do that sometime closer to the actual season starting. But I can tell you right now, the Magic are probably in my top five when it comes to the Eastern Conference. How high? We'll see. Um, yeah, he's really good. I thought about S tier when I was looking at this. And I think my issue with putting him in S tier is that we poked out a couple of holes in his game. And like Giannis does have those flaws, but I think the other elements of his game are just so good that it doesn't matter. Um, and it's hard. It's like makes me think like, is anyone else in the power forward tier even S tier because Giannis is S tier? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. I just don't I think we can comfortably put him at the top of A tier for now. We can see how we feel. I just think if we do that, then Giannis will be like in a tier of his own. You know what I mean? And
And he kind of is.
but I mean, but we had other sinners with Jokic, and he's in a tier of his own
That's
technically
fair.
too. So like that's just my argument for like why I think maybe it doesn't have to be Paolo, but someone else can be an S tier. I don't think we should like reserve it only for Giannis. But we can put him top of A tier too. It's
Sorry, he's an S
fine.
tier for now, and we'll see when we get
Yeah,
back to it later.
yeah. I think that's honestly, I think that's great. I was not a Paolo believer in the beginning, but I am now. Tell you that much.
Yeah, I remember definitely thinking, I'm so glad the Rockets got Jabari Smith and not Paolo. And I look foolish. So
No, I mean I still like Jabari.
here's a great one.
Yes, Cavaliers. Tell me.
Evan Mobley. This guy's awesome. He had a really, really good year last year. I think developed a lot for the Cavaliers, added more of a shot to his game, which is great. Didn't quite get to three-point spacing territory, but I think he's slowly getting there. He's going to have a competent mid-range in his bag now. Good towards the basket, good screener, good roller, and he just won Defensive Player of the Year. He's a freaking awesome defender. And the Cavs have been an awesome defense while he's been there. And he is one of the few guys at his size, and I think we've talked about this before, where if you get a screen switch on the perimeter and he is now guarding a quick guard that a lot of times you will see quick guards on the perimeter with bigger players kind of look like they're going to drive and then they'll take a step back three and the big defender is a little too slow so they get kind of an open look or they blow by them because they're ready for the three and they get to the basket. Evan Mobley is very good at preventing both of those things. It's a really crucial part of the Cavs' success. It has been over the past couple of seasons, and I think in order for the Cavs to become this dominant Eastern Conference team and really make a serious finals run, I think he's kind of the X factor for them. So I think you know what you're going to get from Donovan Mitchell on the offensive end. You know what you're going to get from Jared Allen in terms of his center play. Darius Garland, I think, has an argument here. He's been inconsistent. If you get great Darius Garland, awesome, but he has had some times where he hasn't looked so great lately. But Evan Mobley is the other guy because the ceiling just feels really, really high. And whereas we kind of just talked about Paolo is that on offense for the Magic, it feels like Evan Mobley is kind of like that for the Cavs on defense in like a game-changing way. So for me, I am. Oh, this is tough. This is really tough. Um, because I'm looking at Cat. Cat is my pivot spot here. I definitely think he will have a better season than Scotty Barnes. I don't know if he would have a better season than Cat. If he does that mean he's an S tier player? Um, is kind of the argument. Do I think he's better than Paolo? Probably not. Um, maybe Paolo and Cat should have also been discussed too. It's tough because I think Cat's gonna have an awesome season. That's where I'm at. That's the point I'm trying to figure out the before or after Cat.
Okay. The only so yeah, everything you said, I mean, he's a great. Evan Mobley's an awesome NBA player. Like everything about his game, still things to be fixed, like you mentioned. But I think the only reason why I might not have him above Cat is just because in the playoffs, it seems like he sh is shy. But if we're talking regular season, I mean, he's gonna have an elite regular season. Oh God, that is tough. Um, he's younger too.
Hmm.
I mean, maybe put him above Cat. Maybe, yeah, maybe do it. Maybe just go for it. Maybe we just have fun.
You
Maybe have fun
don't
with this.
sound like you really want to.
You know what? You know what's convincing me? It's his defense
Hmm.
because he's won a DPOY. So in my head, like he's just an elite level. You know what I mean? Like that really stands him apart from Cat. Maybe Cat's offensive game is almost elite, whereas Evan Mobley's still developing. But I could see it getting there this season, and his defense is already there, so it's not really any questions.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning it, you know.
Is Evan Mobley the next Kevin Garnett?
No, he's better.
Oh, okay. Um,
Oh, didn't really expect that, but
oh,
okay. I guess we're gonna
interesting,
talk about it
interesting.
now. Who are we gonna talk about? Sacramento
Keegan.
King Murray. All right,
Remember those
gosh.
chants? Oh, remember when things were fun in Sacramento? God.
Remember there was something to look forward to?
Remember when we lit the beam? Jeez, I miss
Remember,
those days.
remember when we didn't have to worry about the Bulls in the West, and now we are? Um, Keegan Murray, exceptional shooter. Last year was a down year. I think this is third year in the league. Um, but you know, it happens. It dips. His defense is still pretty dang good. Um, but my biggest issue is I don't know if he hasn't really progressed much in the last 2 years. Because he rookie year came out awesome. Sophomore year
He
was
also came in
still.
old.
Yes. Sophomore year came in was still pretty good. Last year was a slump. Kings were going through it, so you can blame it on that. Keegan Murray is at least one of the brighter spots because he's young and still has the potential. Um, Younger, I should say. And but how is the season gonna go? Um, just because the Kings are the way the Kings are, and that matters. Um, Gosh, is he gonna have a better season than Tobias Harris? Probably not. So like, um, oh man, this is I yeah, maybe C tier behind Tobias Harris. I like Keegan Murray, and I only want him to get better because I know he can. But the Kings don't make it easy for me to want to put him higher, and that matters. So that's kind of what I'm leaning. Um, what about you?
Sure. Yeah, Keegan Murray hasn't changed a lot since coming to the league. Came in strong, good shooter, good defender, like you mentioned, and that's been his story. Hasn't really developed in any meaningful way. Actually, has maybe regressed a little bit last year, like you mentioned, had a slump, down year. But the Kings in general kind of had a down year last year. A pretty disastrous season over there in Sacramento. Going into this season, I think Keegan Murray's role will be pretty defined in an offense revolving around Sabonis and DeRozan, who are both not shooters. Keon Ellis not a great shooter himself, so really it's only Zach LaVine is like the other high volume shooter in their starting lineup, and Malik Monk off the bench as well. Although there's been some trade murmurings there that they want to get rid of him to sign Russell Westbrook, that doesn't make any sense. Um, there's one all the old guys over there,
What is
but.
happening in Sacramento? Oh my.
Russell Westbrook, still a free agent. Shut up. We
Oh
love you.
God.
Honestly, looking at this, and I was looking at all the players we have listed, I wanted to put him behind John Collins.
I could see that. I didn't want to say it, but like I could
The
see
back
that
of C
because
tier.
the Clippers are going to be so good. Like John Collins is going to have a really good year. He's going to get lobs like crazy from Harden and Paul. So it's like
Yeah, yeah. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
I hope he proves us wrong.
A
That's
player
all
we
I can say.
like, a player we like going low is feels really uncommon.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think every year we do this, we get more realistic. I remember arguing Austin Reeves A tier like first year. So it's like,
You argued that Austin Reeves was better than Tyler Hero. I'll never forgive you for that.
and I was right. I still am. I still stand
Austin
by
Reeves
that.
has gotten meaningfully better, so
Yeah, I
it's
still
worth
believe
mentioning.
it. Hey, tell me about the Brooklyn Nets, man.
Okay, this is another
This is gonna be
disaster of a
terrible.
team
Oh
that I was looking at.
God, I
Okay,
hate this. I hate it's already full. Why are there 25? Okay.
so this depth chart has Noah Clowney, respectable. It also has Yegor. I believe I learned this is pronounced Dioman, which is strange.
Hmm.
This is their first round pick this year, number eight. One of their five first round picks, I guess I should say, at number eight. So that makes sense to me. They don't really have a meaningful point guard. You will notice an absence of Cam Thomas, still in restricted free agency. So I assume Cam Thomas comes back and starts at the two, which for me would move Terrence Mann to the three, which would move Michael Porter Jr. to the four, because Michael Porter Jr. is like 6'11", in case people forget. We already had Claxton at the five. I think that's accurate. I don't see Zaire starting. I don't see kind of really any of these guys down here having meaningful impact. Jalen Wilson is the other name that I thought could be a starter. He's like 6'5", so if he did start, it would be at like the two or the three. Terrence Mann would be the other, pushing Michael Porter to the four again. So if you look at the five people that they have listed here, I think the odd man out is probably Clowney, which would push Michael Porter Jr. to the four.
I mean, before we looked at that, I was thinking Michael Porter Jr. at the four because he
What
is
has Haywood
6'11.
Highsmith? Haywood Highsmith is 6'5".
Yeah, no,
Um,
I also thinking Haywood Highsmith, but I was like, oh, yeah, isn't he like, yeah, he's 6'5". So,
this one has Michael
um,
Porter Jr. at the four.
yeah, I think that's safe. I think Cam Thomas will come back. So I think we can definitely talk about Michael Porter Jr. And by we, I
I'll,
mean you.
I'll have you know I added Michael Porter Jr. and Noah Clowney. This tier list did not have a single Brooklyn net.
Yeah,
So they just didn't know. They just
forgot
I'm
about
not
they forgot about it.
I'm not putting that guy in
Forgot.
there. Okay, Michael Porter Jr. There was it was somebody in the front office where like he could average 27 this year. I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
Funny. He will be their scorer, that's for sure. Claxton's not really a scorer. Yegor I mentioned is more of a pass first point guard. Terrence Mann does not lighten up the scoreboard. If Cam Thomas comes back, that's the other guy that's going to score in bunches. But that's really it when it comes to this team. So I do think Michael Porter Jr. will have a pretty large scoring responsibility. In Denver, we never really saw him create. He is very much a catch and shoot kind of player. I think the guy Yegor that I mentioned, they want if they want to run the offense from him his rookie year, then great. Then he can get set up in that way. Um, but they don't, it's not like they have these amazing playmakers that are going to set Michael Porter Jr. up for success. His defense, I think, has gotten better since he's entered the league. He used to be a traffic cone. He used to just get walked right around, which is surprising for someone of his size. In terms of height, he's not exactly hefty or anything like that. He's pretty skinny. But he can shoot over anybody. I think we talked about this before when the Nuggets played the Lakers in that playoff series. It was like every time this guy lets go of the ball, it's going in. Like there's nothing you can do about it. He's so tall, and it's so impossible to defend because he's a little too fast for the big guys and way too tall for most threes or fours in the league. So the shooting ability is elite. The creation is not really there. The defense is also not really there. So that's kind of the issues with this game. The Nets are going to be so bad this season. I would put Michael Porter Jr. I don't think he will develop like a Jalen Johnson in terms of his offensive creation. So I feel like I would put him in the C tier, probably above Keegan Murray, above John Collins or Tobias Harris. That's kind of where the debate starts in my head. So hit me.
Yeah, I was thinking above Keegan Murray just because he's going to have a little bit more opportunity than Keegan Murray will have. And you basically said about Michael Porter Jr. I mean, he also just is going through like a shoulder injury, so don't really feel comfortable about putting him any higher than that either.
Hmm.
Who knows also what his I don't know. I have questions when someone like of that ability moves from one team to another where he's used to winning and now he has to get used to losing. I worry about like motor and motivation and things like that. Like I'm worried he's just not even gonna really try too hard, and it's gonna be like an adjustment year for him. Um, so that's why I'm also not super high on him having like an incredible season. But I do
Hmm.
agree he probably will be scoring like like crazy. Um, but yeah, above Keegan Murray comfortably.
Michael Porter, um,
Junior,
in the
Junior.
Keegan Murray chant.
Absolutely. That's what we do here. The 76ers.
What do you think their power forward is? I want you to guess.
Okay, so we have is it okay, no. We have Embiid, Paul George is the three, Maxi's the one, maybe is it Oubre? Is it Oubre? Kelly Oubre?
Kelly Oubre is a fine guess. I did think about Kelly Oubre. I actually think it's just Paul George.
You only think we went to four?
Yeah, I feel like Paul George is like 6'9", which people forget about. Um, Kelly Oubre, when I look at their depth charts, what do they have? I didn't look at this one very much.
I see
Philadelphia,
if
they have Paul George. They have Maxi Grimes, Edgecombe, Paul George.
I don't love
That's
that.
gross.
Yeah, let's see what yeah. I mean I can see Paul George being a four. I just remember him being put
This one they
more
do have Paul George. They have Justin Edwards at the three.
what
Well,
are these
that's not gonna happen.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like every one of these depth charts that has one position that's like, what are you talking about? This one has him at the four too, so he's at the
Yeah,
four
so
all around. This makes the most sense to me, except Jared McCain's like 6'4".
yeah,
So,
no, I was gonna say I don't
um,
know how that really
if they
works.
start Edgecombe, I think he'll start at the three. I think it's more likely that Edgecombe comes off the bench and Kelly Oubre is the starting three.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where my head is. Okay, Paul George. Oh my God.
good
Okay,
luck.
I got my work cut out for me. I'll tell you that much. A man with two brand new knees. I mean, what could? Sorry. It's not that. It's just funny to say. Paul George, man, what a bad year last year. I just can't stop laughing. Oh God. Paul George, man. Right when I started to like him too. When Paul George is at his best, he's elite. He's an amazing scorer. I've seen him make some of the amazing daggers live. He's also an incredible defender. He's very smart. What I like about him, he's pretty consistent. This is before last year. really like a really consistent player. Like maybe he doesn't score as much, but then he'll like play defense out of his mind. Doesn't play defense too much just because he's scoring out of his mind. It's like pretty good of a balance. Like you're gonna get a good game from Paul George, which I don't love saying because I was kind of a Paul George hater. But then he left the Clippers, went to the 76ers. I was like, I am a believer
Hmm.
until he just wasn't very good. After getting so much money, wasn't very good, and then just decided to get like three surgeries, two surgeries, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, God, when Paul George is at his best, he is an easily an A-tier player. But here's the thing: what version of Paul George are we getting next year? I'm not confident in a lot of his ability to come. He is getting older. He is what, 38. That's old for the NBA. And
There's
he's
no
still
way
on,
he's 38.
okay, 36. What's the
Yeah, that
difference?
seems more reasonable. So
Okay,
38 is
let
crazy.
me double check his let me double check his age. His age is 35, which is basically when you have two new knees, it's basically 38. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, this guy can't stop talking about his knees. 35. Well, still old. So, how does he gonna fit in the system? Embiid, Maxey, and Paul George played I think maybe 3 games together, if that. I don't think they were amazing in that time either. Um, gosh, is Paul George like his fall from grace is it's mighty magnificent. Um, but where does he fit on this tier list? That is the question. And I think it might be I'm looking at the B tier. Looking at the B tier.
I was wondering how low you'd go.
And I didn't again. I did, and as best he's A tier, and his best A tier like behind Jaren Jackson for sure. But I don't see that happening, right? I mean, I don't know how you feel,
Yeah.
but I just don't really see that happening this year.
The
I
range of
feel like
outcomes is a lot.
it's kind of like Embiid, but the thing is, Embiid has the benefit of being MVP at one point. That's why he was in the tier of his own. Paul
Paul
George.
George was top three in MVP 6 years ago.
Oh man, when he was 29 in his prime, that's crazy. I wouldn't have thought that. No, yeah, but I just I think I can put him above Zion, which says more about Zion than Paul George.
Oh man, what a debate.
Uh,
Who's going to have a
uh,
better season, Paul George or Zion?
Looking at this makes me
Oh,
want to put Jalen Johnson above Zion even. Damn, it's crazy. It's just like,
and so it
um,
is.
yeah, I just feel like this. God, the injury stuff
Here,
sucks.
here's the thing
Don't
with Paul
talk to me.
George.
Talk to me.
Um, Paul George had a worse season than Tobias Harris last season. Tobias
Hmm.
Harris is on the C tier. So if you told me the C tier, I'd have been like, I guess you're not crazy for saying that.
Yeah.
Um, but there are worlds in which Paul George, I think, probably could finish above the rest of the players in the B tier. And then when you get to the A tier, I'm like, no, I like see no way he has a better season than like Scotty Barnes. Like there's no shot
Mm-mm.
that Paul George has a better season, right? So that's definitely like where I draw the line in terms of the range of outcomes. Paul George, I really hope is healthy and bounces back. Even this offseason, he had another minor setback. So I hope that he is healthy and good to go once the season rolls around. 35 is very old in this league, and he has had multiple big time surgeries. Just when he was really young in the Pacers, he broke his leg. Like this guy has been through a lot, and I think he gets clowned online for having a podcast and posting stuff and kind of being kind of candid and open. And it's a little annoying. I mean, we talked about this in social media and how people are perceived in sports, and just because Paul George actually has a voice, people make fun of him for it, right? Whereas so many players we never hear, we just like watch on the court and that's all we know. Um, and I think to an extent I understand people like it's so tough because it's like people basically act like you do nothing outside of basketball. Like if you post yourself doing anything on social media as a professional sports player, it's like get on the court and practice. What are you doing? It's like, brother, this guy just practiced for 6 hours and then he went and hung out with his friends and then posted about it. Like that's how life works. You do stuff outside of work. So that aspect of it does tend to annoy me. And I do think like Paul George has probably like podcasted at some ill-advised times, like he when he was injured a lot at the times during last season. It was like this is maybe not the time to upload stuff because people are just like, when are you going to play basketball? Like, that's going to be all the engagement you get.
Hmm.
That being said, good player, good shooter, good creator, good defender. Really good defender in his heyday. Obviously, he's older now. I am comfortable putting him right ahead of Zion in the B tier.
Yeah. And again,
Right.
I want him to be higher. I was really
Yeah.
stoked for him in the 76ers and everything. I was really high on that. We had him like three seed, both you and I last year, and we don't talk about that anymore.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that anymore.
That was tough.
What a year.
That
What a
was,
year. Last year was kind of insane in the NBA. I gotta say, I
yeah.
kind of loved it. Tell me about the Thunder.
Thunder. Feel the thunder. I hate that song. Chet Holmgren will be their starting power forward as we listed Hartenstein as their starting center. Chet Holmgren missed a lot of last season with a big injury. He has had two big injuries in his career already. He missed his entire rookie season due to a foot injury he sustained, I believe, in the Drew League prior to his rookie season, and then last year missed a bunch of games too. Skinny body, that will happen. Um, but that being said, when he was on the court last year, he looked pretty good. Pretty good defender, both on the perimeter and in the paint. He is a spacer as well. Pretty okay shooter. I think people gave him maybe a little more credit than he deserves, but ultimately he was pretty good, pretty consistent even in the playoffs, which you worry about for such a young player. It was his second year, but it was like his first year because he was injured his first year. So he kind of came out pretty strong and looked pretty good for a team that won the championship. So that's awesome. You love to see that. Or I guess last year was his third year, technically second year.
Third year, yeah.
Yeah. But good player. I think the ceiling is higher. I think his situation's a little interesting because with the Thunder, I don't imagine he will get a ton of opportunity to develop as kind of an offensive creator because they have Shea and they have J-Dub, and those are kind of their two guys that are going to have the ball in their hand most of the time. So I don't think Chet will get to work a lot in that aspect. That being said, looking at the tier list here, I think the ceiling is pretty high for this guy. I think he is going to do what needs to be done at the right time. It's so interesting. Looking at Aaron Gordon in B tier, I'm like, yeah, I could see Aaron Gordon being more impactful for the Nuggets than Chet is for the Thunder. But then I look in the A tier and I'm like, I could see him being a better player than Jaren Jackson Jr. So the range here it is a little lofty in between the tiers. I I think I feel because of the ceiling, I probably feel more comfortable. Oh, it's tough. I probably feel more comfortable in like the back of A tier. It's hard though. This is a hard one for me. I feel like most of these are pretty cut and dry when I look at the list. This one is leaving me a little stumped.
Yeah, I was thinking right ahead of Jaren Jackson Jr. because of his age and the ceiling. Like this year, he could really just, I could see it being an elite year for Chet. And I mean, he played fine in the finals, wasn't great, and they were still able to win. So I feel like he's only going to get better and more confident in his ability, especially after winning a championship. I just think the opportunity is going to be more than like Jaren's will be for the Grizzlies. Maybe he's behind a couple people, like you said, J-Dub and Shea. So it's tough, but I feel like he's just younger and has more potential. So that's why I want to be more optimistic and put him like behind Scotty Barnes. Um, I think that was a good call. Yeah, yeah, I
And
like
so it
that.
is.
I like that. This is good.
Dom
This
has
is fun.
spoken.
Wow, here we
And
go.
now Dom will speak some
Okay,
more.
I will speak again. Los Angeles Lakers. It is going to be Rui Hachimura, who's been on our team. This is third year. Um, he has been an interesting player because he's been pretty dang consistent, which I love to see. We've experimented using him as like a five in some playoff matchups, which worked kind of well, and then we still lost against the Nuggets. Most of the thing about the Nuggets, but we didn't have really a center, so that also doesn't help. But Rui Hachimura, what can he do? He can kind of do it all. He can shoot the three. His three has actually gotten better. On the Lakers, he's one of the better three-point shooters, which is crazy because that was not really his thing coming in. He can defend really well. He plays with a tenacity that I really, really love to see. Um, I think he is like a Aaron Gordon, but worse. Meaning like he is a really good role player, but he's where he needs to be. Like the passes he's getting from LeBron, the passes he's getting from Luca, he's right in the right position. Um, but he's not, he's not as good as some of these other guys, so he's not making every single shot and whatnot. But I think he fits in with this Lakers team really well, especially being there for a couple of years. He's been all kind of in trade talks too, just because usually we talk about him being packaged with somebody to get someone new. But I like his consistent presence. I think he's has a very balanced approach to the game. This being said, um, I can probably see him like behind John Collins, just because I think he's going to have a really good year. I think maybe John Collins has a bit. It's tough because he has Harden and Chris Paul, but then Rui has LeBron and Luca, but he's not a lob threat. So I would give the vertical threat edge to Collins. So I would say behind John Collins in C tier. But what do you think about Rui Hachimura?
I'd give the edge to Rui Hachimura because I feel like Rui Hachimura somehow these last two seasons is so pivotal to Lakers' success. Like he feels like a core piece of your team. Like you need him in order to get where you guys want to go, and maybe that's a depth issue and like a lack of people issue. But I feel like that's not the case with John Collins on the Clippers. I feel like they were fine without him, and they probably would still be fine without him if he were to leave today. But I think Rui has been very good, like you said, for the Lakers. I think he's grown a lot as a player. He was very much kind of a project type player when he was on the Wizards, and I think he's kind of become this defined role player on the Lakers, and I think he does that role pretty well, which is why I think they've made an effort to hang on to him for all of this time. I think he complements both Luca and LeBron in that way as kind of the other wing player, if you will, in the starting lineup. C tier definitely is where he belongs. I mean, looking at these guys, I'm like, yep, this is the tier for a guy like this. Um, yeah, I would say above John Collins.
I'm cool. I was worried about being too much bias. I mean, honestly, my heart was feeling like B tier. I was like, Dom, come on, man. Come on.
Rui
Just
Hachimura better than Zion Williamson. Like, oh,
hey, I trust him play 82 games more than Zion, I'll tell you that
oh,
much.
well, that's fair.
Oh,
But no one will unseat Tobias Harris as the king of C tier. So
he is the pinnacle C
he
tier.
is such a C tier. Okay,
Yeah,
the Spurs are another interesting one, so let's talk about it real quick
let's
on the
talk
old
about it.
depth chart. This depth chart has Harrison Barnes. That makes sense. This depth chart has Harrison Barnes. That makes sense. This depth chart has Harrison Barnes. So that's three for three Harrison Barnes. My question is, does that mean Jeremy Sohan just comes off the bench?
Yeah, I like Harrison Barnes as a starter better because he can actually shoot and space around Wimby, whereas Sohan is like they got ball handlers, you know? They don't really need a ball handling four who can't really shoot that well. Um, I like Harrison Barnes more because then you have someone who's like a veteran in your starting lineup too, who can play
Yeah.
better defense too. So I'm cool with that. It's up, but you decide.
And this tier list just had Jeremy Sohan, so I had to add this picture of Harrison Barnes, and for some reason it has a black background and will look different than everyone else on this tier list. So I hate that. Um, but alas, here we are. Harrison Barnes, screaming another C tier for me right here. I mean, this is a run of the mill. He spaces, he plays defense. I feel like there were times in the Kings where I hated Harrison Barnes because I really wanted the Kings to succeed, and they would give Harrison Barnes like a clutch time three, and he would absolutely
Mm-hmm.
brick it. But
Mm-hmm.
he is a good player and can hit those shots, and I think he's kind of been a fine NBA veteran. Um, Looking at this list, though, I honestly feel like these C tier players are pretty good. Um, I'd probably put them at the back of the C tier, maybe the top of the D tier. Now that I think
I
about
was
it a little more.
I Yeah, I'm thinking exactly what you're. I was like Keegan Murray. I like because he's younger. He's basically Harrison Barnes but better. So it's like sure. And then Sam Hauser. It's like Harrison Barnes to me still is a solid starting. Like I don't see him as a starter. I'm like Spurs got to fix that. I'm like nah, that's I get that. Still like a very competent NBA player. So I'm cool with putting him above D tier. So top of D tier above Sam Hauser. I think it just makes more sense to me than the other players in C tier. Just environment and things
HB.
happening. Yeah, but that being said, good player. I like Harrison Barnes.
No, No F tier representatives yet. I wonder if
We'll
that will
see. There
change.
might be one coming up right about, not now, actually. Oh, Blazers! Time to blaze.
Time to blaze.
Get
Why did we
blazed.
why did we say that? So this one has Jeremy Grant. This one has Tumani Kamara. And this one has Tumani Kamara.
So I thought,
I
yeah, what do you
don't
think?
see how Jeremy Grant is not the player.
No, that's exactly it. I think and then Tumani Kamara is the three. I mean, that's what makes sense to me.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
here's the issue with that argument. This team has Denny Avdia on it. Denny Avdia. I could not say that right.
move him to
And
two.
that guy's like 6'8", so he's not the two. He's not the two. I don't know how they start all three of these players. I don't know who's going to come off the bench. And maybe that's the argument. This one has the pay. They pay Jeremy Grant so much money.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could possibly argue that he comes off the bench. Um,
No, I agree. At least for that, I think maybe there's gonna be an argument where like the three, the two, and the one. Because like I honestly don't love whatever we're looking at right now. Like there's no young guys. Like what are
it's all
they?
the old guys.
You
And Tamani
gotta
Kamara's not old, but
no, you gotta have like Scooter Shaden at least in the starting lineup. So does
yeah,
Drew come off the bench? Like I don't know. Anywho, I mean I think Jeremy Grant is the four. That's
yeah.
definitely what I was thinking. Jeremy Grant is still a very good NBA player. Didn't he? I feel like he missed quite a bit of last season. I didn't see him playing a lot on the court. Um,
Yeah, it's just the Portland Trailblazers experience actually. So
yeah, that sounds about right. Um, but yeah, I mean, he's a solid NBA player. Maybe there's a little bit. He's just being paid way too much money. He is a as a role player wing who can shoot like the mid range pretty well and defend pretty well. Like I think his perfect role was when he was on the Denver Nuggets, and then kind of like when he got the money, went to the Pistons, and now to the Blazers. Kind of like it's just is the spotlight's getting too much. Like he's just getting paid way too much for what he's actually doing. Um, that being said, he's still a good defender, can still shoot mid range very well. Like I trust him on my team. Seems more like a veteran now, like on this Blazers team, because everyone else is
yeah,
on the younger side. What kind of season is he going to have next year? I screaming C tier.
yeah.
Just because like he's not pushing beat, he's not like pushing any. He's not if he doesn't play next year, the Blazers are still going to be the 10th seed. You know what I mean? Um,
10. Wow, good season for the Blazers.
I think so compared to some
Uh,
others.
yeah, you
Um,
haven't looked at those 15 Western Conference teams, man. They're,
I know. I need to for sure. I need to like really just look at them and just like see exactly what's going on over there. Um, so I would probably say like behind. I'm looking at John Collins as like I don't know why he kind of is keep looking at me like I don't know like he's
he's looking at you.
better or behind John Collins, but C tier for sure.
Jeremy Grant's a good defender. Jeremy Grant is good shooter. Jeremy Grant, once upon a time, averaged over 20 points as the number one option on a very bad Detroit Pistons team.
Hmm.
After wanting more of a role in Nuggets, leaving the Nuggets, getting that on the Pistons, taking this money and then saying, no, I'm gonna go to Portland and do whatever. And then Dame got him paid, and now Dame is back, baby. Shout out to that pairing. Jeremy Grant's a good player. I think maybe they'll start phasing him out as the year goes on with some of the younger guys. Maybe that's the plan as they kind of get into this rebuild. Looking at the C tier here, I think he's probably better than John Collins. Honestly, when I first looked at it, I was like, is Jeremy Grant the new king of C tier? Probably not. I
Yeah.
think I would put him in between John Collins and Rui.
Cool. Yeah, I was gonna say I would put money on the fact that he will not be a Blazer by the end of this coming year.
Makes me wonder, is Michael Porter Jr. too low?
I I don't think so. I don't
Michael
know.
Porter Jr. haters. Also Brooklyn Net haters, but rightfully so.
I don't really hate the Brooklyn
All right,
Nets.
you're going to take two in a row now.
You want me to take Bulls? Fine. I will gladly. Modest Buzales. Welcome to F tier. Not because I hate you. It's because tough love, man.
All of
It's because
these,
I
uh, all of these depth charts, I think, do have him starting, and I would agree with that. This one actually has Patrick Williams starting over him. But that is the debate, right? As Patrick Williams has been on the team, they paid Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams just kind of sucks. So,
yeah, no, see that's the thing. It's like he should, but no, sorry. He in a perfect world he would be playing well enough to be the starter, but I really think I feel I feel like it's going to be by the end of the year solidified Manos Buzalis
Yeah, I
because
think
he's just a
Buzelis kind of took
better
the job throughout the year.
yeah, he's just a better player. Well, he just fits in the system. I mean, what is the system? I don't really know. But what can I say about Manos Buzalis? He plays he's very quick. He plays with like a tenacity which I really enjoy. He has gotten his shot has gotten better. His defense has gotten better. He's just still kind of tiny, like he's just skinny. He's still a kid. He's still kind of like growing into his body. I'm sure he's bulking up for this upcoming season, so he'll be a little bit stronger, which is going to help a lot. I mean, what positive things can we say about the Bulls? It's tough, but I feel like Buzalis is one of the brighter sides just because he did have a really underrated good season last year because he got minutes at the end of last year, was able to make an all rookie team. But that being said, I do mean what I said about F tier because it's the Bulls.
Wow, you're gonna put him in
Uh,
the F tier?
someone's got to be there.
Wow.
And it's not because I think he should be starting.
Let the weight he his own.
I'm gonna show this to my parents. They're gonna disown me. No, because the thing is, he can be better. I just don't think this next season is gonna be it. I think the Bulls need to finish phasing out and then commit to this rebuild, and then he can really blossom and just become a better player that I know he can be. I just don't think it's gonna be his second year, and I just think he's not as important as like Jovic is or Hauser or Barnes or and it's just crazy to say because they're not like super important either. But the thing is, if like Buzalis doesn't play, Patrick Williams plays, sure, the Bulls are still going to be the 14th seed in the East. So
We can only hope.
I wanted to put in the D tier, but again, like just trying to be realistic about the setting. But what are your thoughts?
You said F tier, and I was like, what? F tier? And I'm looking at this, I'm like, he's better than Jovic, I think. And that's about where the argument ends. I think everyone on this list above him is probably better than him. Um, Maybe a stacked list of power forward, maybe an underrated position in the league right now.
I was gonna
As we
say because like I feel like someone's got to be like no one's getting in there. I'm so confused.
Yeah, I do think he will have a good year from an otherwise unspectacular Bulls season. I think the ceiling is there. I think that people are excited for good reason. But yeah, Sam Hauser and Harrison Barnes in the D tier are just so good at doing what they're already doing for those teams respectively. And Jovic, I think, will be more important. But yeah, I honestly think I would slot Buzelis above Jovic. Um, but maybe
You know,
does that mean they're both F tier players? I don't know.
I say put him in D for now. I'm all for that, obviously, but we'll see how it looks like at the end, and then kind of move things around as
We
needed. I
just
feel like
F tier is longing for a player.
I know it need. Who's it gonna be? Is it gonna
Oh,
be?
it's not going to be this guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I get two in a row, starting off with Anthony Davis, because Derek Lively we chose as their center, as we know Anthony Davis loves playing the power forward, and he will. Got traded to the Mavericks, of course, in the crazy Luka Doncic trade midway through last season, and had a very good first half against my Houston Rockets, and then he got injured. And then he was kind of never that good after that. Injuries have kind of plagued AD throughout his career, not to the extent of someone like Zion, who we talked about earlier, but there have been several stints in which he misses lots of regular season games due to injury, or he just misses a game here and there, but it's like all the time because he's like always had these kind of knick-knack injuries going on. But the positive, AD, of course, great offensive threat, strong, can get to the post, can get to the bucket, can shoot the mid range, can shoot even a fadeaway out of the post. Can shoot the three to an extent, probably not as consistently as you'd like, but it is not to the level of some of these guys that basically can't shoot at all. And his defense is awesome. At some point in his career, if he had one Defensive Player of the Year, I wouldn't have been that shocked. I don't think it's quite to that level anymore, but still a very good rim protector. Very good. Also, I mentioned this with Evan Mobley, kind of keeping up with guards on the perimeter. Maybe not as well as he used to with his age now, kind of getting into his 30s, but he has never been a slouch in that respect. If this were 3 years ago, Anthony Davis, I would say this is probably an S tier player. This is not 3 years ago, Anthony Davis. I think there has been some regression. I think he will not have. as strong of a season as he has had in the past. I think the Mavericks will probably try to quickly develop Cooper Flag, and then when Kyrie comes back, perhaps Kyrie is the focal point of ball handling. I'm gonna go with A tier. I don't know where. I have no clue where to put him in A tier. So you tell me.
Yeah, Anthony Davis, have been watching him for many, many years. Just such an amazing defensive threat, and he really looks really good in this Mavericks system. I like a lot what they've done there. That being said, just how good of a season is he going to have? I could see A tier, which is I think what you said, but then in the A tier, just because I feel like he's like this either the best player on the court for the Mavericks or second when Kyrie comes back, maybe above Chet, you know.
Okay.
Um,
No, you know
I
what?
just
Now that I look at it, I think I put him above Scotty Barnes.
yeah, okay. His defense is monster. He is monster.
Yeah, he is a monster.
And he's also not out as much as people say he is. I remember, I mean, watching Lakers basketball, I always thought I'd
No, he
catch
never
a
plays.
game. He's always playing, man. It's crazy.
All right,
Tell me about your Indiana
this
Pacers.
one is going to be quick. Siakam. This guy was a superstar in the finals run that the Pacers had. Oftentimes their best player when Halliburton wasn't having his greatest game. Two-way player, good defender, good creator on the offensive end. Had hot spurts where he just looked like he couldn't be stopped. Comfortably would put Pascal, I think, also above Scotty Barnes, and maybe that's where he lies in the A tier.
Yeah, Pascal Siakam's just been awesome for the Pacers, and especially now with Miles Turner out and Halliburton injury out, he's gonna have a really good season this upcoming year as the primary option. Uh, 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 yeah, I like Pascal Siakam in the A tier, probably above Scotty Barnes. Is he higher? Is he better than AD?
Better than AD is hard.
Probably not.
That's hard.
No. I mean,
That's
I
hard to
remember
get.
I remember arguing S tier for AD last year, so maybe
Yeah,
we let it go like this. We had some movement real quick while we were talking as well. Chet Holmgren and Jaren Jackson Jr. were slid down to the top of B tier, which I think makes sense looking at S and A tier.
yeah. I also am looking at this, and I feel like Evan Mobley is maybe too high. I feel like Cat's gonna be
Uh,
so good.
okay, so what behind Cat?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk
Okay,
about it.
okay.
We'll do it. We'll do it later.
We will figure this out
We'll do it at the end when
together.
we go over the whole thing again.
Yeah, Phoenix Suns. Who the heck is the four?
Yeah, what a disaster this depth chart was.
I
This one
know.
had Dylan Brooks. That's wrong.
Oh
Dylan Brooks is not
God,
a four. I will tell
gross.
you from my many watchings of Dylan Brooks. This one has Royce O'Neal. Royce O'Neal is 6'5".
Mm,
Um, and this one has
what is happening in Phoenix? Oh,
this one has
sorry.
Ryan Dunn.
Oh my God,
Um,
he's like 6'4".
and that's who I added. I actually added Ryan Dunn. He's 6'8".
Is he really?
Yeah, he's really tall. On this, they had I can't even tell who on here is a Suns player. I don't
I,
think any of them are. So I guess
I
they
don't
didn't have
think
a son,
they.
and I added Ryan Dunn when I was looking because it made sense to me.
Yeah. 6'8" Ryan Dunn makes sense. I thought it was a little shorter. So Ryan Dunn, defensive specialist. I think this is his second year.
Yep.
So good for them as a defender last year. Offense has a lot of room to be desired. A lot. Really can't shoot at all. Doesn't really have great handles. There is room for improvement there. I think it's going to happen, but I don't think he's a starting four. Is he our first F tier?
Yeah, he
I
feels
don't.
like an F tier.
Yeah, he's not a bad player by any means. He's just very young and really good at one thing. But in basketball, if you want to be a starter, you gotta be either the elite, the best of the best at one thing, or you got to be able to balance it out a little bit. So I think he's going to be our first F tier, just because I also don't think he benefits from a system where no one knows what the heck is going on. So,
Why did you say it like that?
well, I'm not allowed to speak.
Yeah, Ryan Dunn, good defender. Everything else is kind of a question mark at this point. Worth mentioning, he did shoot 31% from three last season. I thought it was better than that, but you were right. He was not a very good shooter. So,
Yeah, I remember Everton is below league average for sure. Yeah. Welcome to F tier, Ryan Dunn.
well, thank you for blessing F tier with this first guest. We're very happy. Oh,
Oh my God, I'm not
I'm excited about
jealous.
this.
Oh yeah?
So we have Miles Bridges of the Charlotte Hornets, and we are going to make a new tier down here. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
why did I do that? I didn't mean to do that. I was going to make it blue for like the Hornets little color. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm going to call it Miles Bridges. And then in parentheses, I'm going to put IYKYK.
Yep.
And it's below F tier for a reason. If you know, you know. All right.
Yep, absolutely. Not worth talking about. Shall we continue?
I think we did the same thing last year, and I feel good about it.
Yeah, me too. It's okay because you get the Wizards.
Oh, is that? I thought it was your turn now. I talked about
Oh, I'll
Miles
take.
Bridges.
Okay, fine. You're right. You're not. You're right. When you're right, you're right. Who do
I
we got for the
did
Wizards?
for the Wizards. I added they had Keyshawn George on the tier list. They have Keyshawn George on this depth chart. When I looked at it, they have Keyshawn George on this depth chart. I thought it for sure should be Bilal Coulibaly. Um, I just don't realistically see like Kispert and Chris Middleton coming off the bench. That
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me. I think Bub starting at the one maybe also doesn't make sense. I feel like they'll start CJ at the one, and then maybe like Middleton, Kispert, Coulibaly,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Coulibaly's 6'8", so
I was gonna say I don't know Keyshawn George, so if it's Koulibaly, I could definitely talk about some Bilal, that's for sure. Bilal Koulibaly is a young player, still developing, but he's very good. He's a really good defender. He's very smart, which is what I like about when I watch him play with the Wizards. A lot of room to be desired, though. It's just the Wizards in general. I think I'm kind of more optimistic than I have been in the recent years, just because they do have good veterans. CJ McCollum and Chris Middleton are very good veterans on this team. I think that's going to help ultimately. Um, but where does he fit in here is tough because like his environment, what he's around is like D tier, but he could have a C tier season, sure. Is he like behind Keegan Murray in C tier? Maybe that's how I'm feeling.
yeah, it's
But
interesting. He's like a defensive specialist, kind of a slasher in a way as well. Very young, I think, when he came into the league. Um, it's hard because we have this interesting place in D tier where Harrison Barnes and Sam Hauser both are like really like Hauser's really good at one thing. Harrison Barnes like good vet to have on your team. And then behind him you have Bazelis Jovic, who are both kind of young developing players, which is where it feels like Koulibaly fits. But I do think he's above both of them. It's
yeah.
just how far above is he? Is he above also the two veteran players too? Um, yeah, where you tell me where to put him and I'll put him there.
Yeah, let's put him above Buzalis, just because
Okay.
I think this tier has a very defined
D
separation.
for
Like
Delal Koulibaly.
exactly. Are the Rockets gonna be last? I'm just waiting for the Rockets.
All right. The you Nope, not the Utah Jazz. What team did I just spend?
Dude.
Warriors.
Oh yeah. Tell me about your our favorite team, the Warriors.
Draymond Green, the defensive player of the year, locker room presence. Obviously, he has the off-court stuff. He hits people. He has social media where he's like, blah, 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 and sounds like an idiot half the time. On the court, though, he is a defensive leader. He is the voice for that team. He is a very smart basketball player, good IQ. His offense is nothing, essentially. He runs a lot of kind of similar to Bam. We talked about last episode, this like high post from the elbow, handoffs, and sets a screen as he's handing it off for Steph or whoever to shoot threes. He tries to shoot threes, and I feel like when I watch them play important games, he makes them. But if you looked at his shooting percentages, that would be a different story. That being said, one of those guys very good at what he does. He is older now. I think he's regressed quite a bit. I would put him somewhere in the C or B tier. I don't like. I think Aaron Gordon at this point is a better player than Draymond Green. I think Jalen Johnson's ceiling is really high. Paul George and Zion kind of a funky little area with the injury concerns. Even like Tobias and the Pistons, I think was pretty good. Even Rui and the Lakers, I think was pretty good. So I think above Jeremy Grant is the lowest that I would go, and I think behind Aaron Gordon is the highest I would go.
I will. I yeah. I'm not the highest on Draymond Green, especially just because how everyone fits together, and they're all like geriatric at this point. Um, so I would say behind Rui on the C
Okay.
tier.
You're like the lowest that you gave,
I
please.
was thinking below Jeremy Grant, but you know, I get why he's not that for sure. He's a very important piece of what the Warriors are. But that being said, he's also a very old piece of what the Warriors are. So who do I get to talk about? Oh, it worked out perfectly. Utah Jazz.
The Utah Jazz, their depth charts were really, really bad. This one actually had Lauri Markkanen.
I was gonna say
So
it's gotta
that's
be
that. Oh, this one. It was this one that was bad then, dude. This one had Niang,
what the heck?
and it had Markkanen as a three. People forget he did play the three on the Cavs. Markkanen is 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
He is
Larry.
humongous. The
Yeah,
tier list had Taylor Hendricks and Kyle Filipowski. So I don't I don't know what's going on.
what do people think? Okay, so Larry Markkinen is a really, really great NBA player, won Most Improved Player 2 years ago. Last year, really didn't play too much. I think it's just because the Jazz are trying to tank.
He had
Also,
the tankitis.
yeah, which is also weird because they signed him right right after they signed him and they couldn't trade him anymore for the whole year. So very weird fumble for the Jazz. But that's not on Larry. I think Larry Markin is a really good player. He can shoot the ball pretty well. He can defend. He doesn't have a lot of holes in his game. Maybe is his defense, but his like everything else is like his shooting, his offensive capability has just been getting better. And I feel he just locks in on defense. He's so tall, so he's already pretty good as a defender just because he is like that. I think it depends where he plays. With the Jazz, he obviously is the best player, so he looks really good. But if you put him on a team, which I feel like he'll get traded to eventually, he might not shine as much. But that being said, I mean, I could see Larry Markkinen being like above or below Jalen Johnson.
Okay.
Maybe there.
The
What do you think?
finisher. Good shooter, good scorer, good creator. I looked at this and I was like, is Laurie Marketing an A-tier player? Because he was an all-star a couple of years ago. And then I looked and I was like, no, I'd rather have Chet. No, I'd rather have Jaren Jackson. I'd rather have Julius Randle, actually. And I was like, I'd rather have Aaron Gordon. I like
Yeah,
just kept demoting him in my mind. I do think Jalen Johnson did end up becoming the pivot point in my brain. And just because I really believe in the Hawks this season and I don't believe in the Jazz one bit, and I believe in Jalen Johnson and his ceiling. I would say behind him in the B tier feels good.
yeah, cool. Very good. Now tell me about your Houston Rockets.
Spin the wheel. Just kidding. Um, you can tell the pictures I added, they look so bad in comparison to other ones,
Come
which is
on,
so
man.
funny
That
because
look
I
great.
just downloaded the random NBA like photo, so I don't know why that happened. Anyways, Houston Rockets, we have on our team these two guys, Jabari Smith, Tari Eason. It's interesting. So I think our starting five is going to be Fred, Amin, Kevin Durant at the three, Şengün at the five. And then the four spot is kind of the trickiest spot on the lineup. I think Jabari came off the bench a lot last year. And so did Tari Eason. They both haven't started a ton, but back when they were both drafted, Jabari was clearly the starter. He just got that big extension. So for now, I'll say Jabari Smith. This player has really grown on me. When he was drafted, I was really high on him. I thought he should have been the number one overall pick, and then they took Paolo and Chet, and I was like, thank God we got Jabari Smith at three. And Paolo and Chet have looked absolutely awesome, and Jabari Smith has been like, okay. Um, but his defense has always looked really good. I remember going to a game um, where they played the Bucks, and he held Giannis to like 12 points. And I was like, this guy's kind of crazy. He was giving him like you could see him kind of impacting Giannis in that way. The shooting it's there in theory, but when I watch it, I don't always see it. It doesn't always come into fruition, but he is theoretically a good shooter. Really good defender, really kind of skinny and small, so that does add or take away from his defense a little bit. But I do think he's a solid defender. I think he's kind of accepted a role and been okay with the role and been okay with not being like the guy. He changed his jersey number, so I'll hate him forever for that because now I have a number one Jabari Smith Jr. jersey. Thanks. All that being said, I think with Kevin Durant on the team, Jabari Smith comfortably sliding into that four and sliding into a role because he will be the fourth option on offense. Maybe no, he's like the fifth option on offense. Şengün, Durant, Amin, and Fred, I think, are probably all above him in pecking order. He shoots the ball, plays good defense. He's going to fit that role pretty well. This will be hard because Rocket's bias is a real thing. I would I would think maybe he's the king of the C tier.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I could honestly, I like Jabari Smith a lot. I think this year is going to be really pivotal for him. I could honestly see him above, Paul George, Zion at one point, especially if they have injury trouble. But benefit of a doubt for them because they deserve that as well. I think King of C tier is perfect because he kind of is like a Tobias Harris, just better and younger. So, and now it
Oh,
looks a bit more even.
all right. Yeah. This is interesting how this happened. Um,
Yeah, you want to move Evan Mobley? What do you think? What are you feeling?
Evan Mobley is so weird because I just keep looking at Cat and AD and I'm like, those guys, and even Siakam, I'm like, those three players are so awesome. But Evan Mobley is also awesome. I guess the other three are just more veteran and can kind of be that. And then that makes me look at Paolo and I'm like, man, Paolo's already like the second best power forward in the league. Wow. Um, yeah, it's tough. It's really tough that these young guys up here that I think have shown the flashes, but maybe are not consistent enough with the catch AD Siakams of the world. That's where my like conundrum is happening.
How do you want to fix it?
I don't know. I'm just expressing my feelings. Um,
And we love that. We love that here. Well, what if if we move Paolo to A tier? Would that make you feel better a
I mean,
little
then
bit?
it's like Giannis alone in the S tier, which I guess makes sense, but
You got
um, it's so hard. This is hard.
yeah. No, I see what you mean, but there's gonna be a season where these young guys do get above the veterans. You know what I mean? Like I remember last year we
Mm.
put Anthony Edwards S tier, and I wanted to, and you're like, I think this is the year we do it, and we did it, and it felt right. It was good.
And it
But
sure was
like,
right.
yeah, so it's like, are we ready to take that chance here too? It's
Yeah. No, I mean, like thinking about Cat AD Siakam, I do think Paolo could really have a monster season as the one option on the Magic if he stays healthy and stuff. So I'm okay with Paolo. I'll live with Paolo. Evan
okay.
Mobley, I think maybe it's the offense for Evan Mobley. It's not quite there. So like him being right next to Cat, who's like so good on offense, but he's so good on defense. It's like a weird
Whereas,
little
yeah,
battle here. That's fine. If they're in the same tier, it's not a big deal.
yeah, we love them all. Shall we go down the list?
If you included Miles Bridges in F tier, this would be
That's
perfectly
that's
symmetrical.
what I said.
That's crazy.
That's what I meant. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, S tier. We got Giannis Antetokounmpo as the best power forward in the league, and then we got Paolo Banchero.
Projecting a jump for you, Paolo. Don't let us down.
Please.
Hey, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
A tier. Evan Mobley, Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, Pascal Siakam, and Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Bonds.
Scoot.
In B tier, we have it led by Chet Holmgren, Jaren Jackson Jr., Julius Randle, Aaron Gordon, Jalen Johnson, Laurie Markkinen, Paul George, and Zion Williamson, who maybe should have their own little weird tier, but um, yeah, they ended up at the back of B tier, and that's okay.
Absolutely. C tier as the king, we have Jabari Smith Jr., Tobias Harris, Rui Hachimura, Draymond Green, Jeremy Grant, John Collins, Michael Porter Jr., and Keegan.
Murray. In D tier, we have Harrison Barnes, Sam Hauser, Bilal Coulibaly, Matas Buzelis, and Nikola Jovic.
And F tier, we have Ryan Dunn, but he is not the worst. No, we have Miles Bridges. If you know, you know.
Um, yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with this list. It's a good list. It's a
Me
good list
too.
made by good men.
Yes, absolutely. If you made it this far, I just want to thank everyone again for watching and being a part of this. We're going to do small forwards next and go over any more news we have. The NBA season's only about a month away. Stoked. Very exciting.
Hmm.
And yeah, we will see everyone very soon. And you can take your shot.
Oh yes, all behind me. Let me stop sharing my screen so I can actually
Ooh,
see what's
yes,
going
here
on
we
here.
go.
Eh, eh, eh.
What if
All
you
right,
sync it because the on-air sign isn't there anymore? That would
that
be
would be
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. I missed.
Just just want to say again, thank you everyone for listening. We'll catch you very soon here on Two Men Game, part of Ethical Ball. Hope everyone is enjoying 22 Man Game as much as I am, and we will see you soon on 2 Man Game with Damon and Dom.
Get